Let's jump right in. He roared. Freeze. Instantly, a shimmering vortex of pure power exploded into existence. Countless massive icicles materialized in the sky, completely surrounding the demon horde. Chu Yi waved his hand, yelling, "Holy storm!" Boom! A massive gale swept up the ice. The freezing wind blasted straight into the demons, completely shredding them apart. Violent tornadoes formed, instantly sweeping away thousands of those skeletons. The demon leader was furious. He bellowed, "You cowardly snake hiding in the shadows. My clan's warrior spirits are eternal. Insects like you can't touch us." Right after, the skeleton army started rhythmically smashing their weapons against their shields. With every single strike, glowing blue soul fragments flew into the air. Up on the towering walls, endless rows of skeletons radiated eerie light. Chu Yi gripped his head. Total confusion. His eyes were locked dead onto the demon horde as he wondered, what on earth are they planning? Suddenly, the skeletal demons started to merge together, forming an absolutely monstrous giant symbiotic skeleton, an entire army of long-dead demons, fusing into one. They were literally pouring their remaining power into their fallen comrades, resonating their life force to resurrect as one giant beast. Horrified by this towering monster, he muttered, "Just a bunch of scraps thrown together. Are these bone demons actually immortal, or what? I didn't even get a system alert." But killing this ice abyss bone demon has to drop insane experience. Now, watch this closely. This is where it gets crazy. The giant eye on the skeleton's forehead glowed, booming loudly. "Found you." Chu Yi didn't back down. He bravely drew his sword, smirking. A legendary grade boss is no joke. But whatever, he aimed his sword straight at the massive skeleton. And suddenly, the blade erupted with a blinding, dazzling golden light. "I refuse to believe I can't kill you." From the bone tower, a massive pillar of light shot up, shining like a sun everywhere, like they were under a spell. Smaller skeletons started frantically leaping down, clad in heavy armor and wielding different weapons. The small skeletons were literally in complete freefall toward him. He swung his sword in fast zigzag motions, expression ice cold. Above him, the giant symbiotic skeleton watched his every move intently. Chu Yi leaped high, landing smoothly on the wooden bridge. In a total flash, face completely emotionless, he rushed straight at the giant boss. Chu Yi slammed the brakes right in front of its massive eye. He raised his blade. Suddenly, the monster opened its giant mouth, plotting something dark. But honestly, Chu Yi didn't care at all. He jumped, sword held high, ready to end this giant freak for good. But then he completely froze, cold sweat dripping. You and I didn't see this coming. Memories suddenly hit him. His eyes filled with sad regret, staring blankly at the changing surroundings. Desperate cries echoed everywhere around him. "Zasi is falling. We need backup right now." Chu Yi walked forward, totally numb. Step by step, a tall man hurried up from behind, heavily clapping a hand onto his shoulder. Chu Yi looked up, turning to face the man with pure confusion. But his eyes locked onto a young guy getting thrown right past him, an arrow deep in his stomach. The tall man kept shouting, "Buy time for Lord Bonefang." Suddenly, a massive pink and purple vortex ripped open, leaving absolutely everyone in shock. It was the demon clan's dimensional gate. Heavily armored skeletons wielding giant warhammers started charging out. The knights didn't back down for a second. They took their combat stances, roaring with absolute valor and raw courage. "Descendants of the Chu clan, hear me. Fight to the death. We cannot let these demons escape our Tanlin realm." Smash! A knight was sent flying from a brutal hammer strike. The tall man fought like a beast, roaring, "Live and die," with Tian. Suddenly, a massive blue-white dragon spawned in the sky. His voice boomed again, "Live and die with Tonlin." The giant dragon opened its jaws, revealing a glowing green gem inside. It blasted a beam of green light straight into the earth. And just like magic, everything started returning to normal. The crowd erupted into massive cheers. "Lord Bonefang is here. We're actually saved." Chu Yi's eyes were wide with shock, but also a deep disappointment as he realized, wait, am I on the battlefield of the demon invasion from 100 years ago? Meanwhile, Bonefang coiled amidst the glowing light. It flew menacingly downward, glaring at the knights. But suddenly bam! Multiple massive swords flew out of nowhere, impaling the dragon's stomach. The dragon roared in pure agony. Bonefang writhed in intense pain, sending knights flying everywhere. Everyone in the distance just watched in absolute horror. Far away, a giant armored skeleton was wielding a sword tens of meters long. It started its brutal attack, instantly impaling several knights with just a single thrust. So what do you and I expect next? Total rampage. Chu Yi's eyes burned with bitter rage as he roared, "You demon scum, let's dive right into absolute madness." An armored skeleton on a black crow tears through the sky, screaming for blood. But before it can even strike, Zungia sinks his fangs right into the crow's wing. The skeleton plummets, its ride completely trashed. Zungia spits it out, without a single ounce of mercy. He glances down at his own body, blood pouring out where a sword was just ripped free. Zungia immediately snaps his gaze back skyward. A massive pink vortex rips open above, and right in the center, a horrific skeleton face peeks through. Zungia stares hard, putting the pieces together. That dark aura? It has to be a heavenly demon. The terrifying realization hits him. If they manage to break through, the entire heavenly land realm becomes an absolute demonic wasteland. Every living being would just become food for the demon clan. To save all those innocent souls, Zungia stomps in pure fury, completely shattering the ground beneath him. No way. He refuses to let them through. If this demon tide is really this unstoppable, he has to act. Shooting forward like an absolute meteor, he decides to use his own dragon body as a sacrifice. Zungia flies straight at that heavily armored skeleton, who is just sitting there calmly inside the swirling vortex. He plunges right into the portal, completely engulfing both himself and the terrifying demon inside it. The vortex violently snaps shut, blasting out a blinding pink light. Chu Yi watches this happen, shielding his eyes with his arm. The explosive force is insane, completely shattering the earth below into pieces. The portal flashes intensely before it finally starts to shrink. Now, pay attention, because this is where the tension peaks. Everyone stares, not daring to blink, until the portal completely vanishes into thin air. Soft cheers start breaking out. The gate is actually gone. Then, the entire crowd erupts into wild celebration. Lord Zungia actually drove the demons back. Absolute hype. They successfully defended the Heavenly Land front line. But Chu Yi just stands there, totally lost in thought. He was the one who threw the dragon core in to detonate it. All around him, the insane cheering continues. Long live Lord Zungia. As long as he stands, the Heavenly Land is safe. He stares out at the chaotic battlefield and celebrates in silence. This is perfect. He didn't break his important promise to him. Suddenly, a voice calls out from behind, making Chu Yi spin around. Zungia, a handsome guy, runs right toward him, sparking a realization. That is the legendary ancestor of the Chu clan. Chu Yi snaps out of his flashback, just as a massive blade swings directly at his face. Chu Yi barely manages to block that ridiculously heavy attack with his own weapon. He flies backward to dodge, touching down on the solid ice. A weird flash from the monster annoys him, making him wonder what is inside it. Right there, nestled deep between its creepy bones, is a glowing blue light. You and I both know exactly what that glowing thing is, right? A dragon scale. Chu Yi smirks confidently, wondering how he missed this obvious clue from the very start. The movements of these bone demons are just way too perfect. Yet their attack patterns are incredibly simple. Chu Yi just stares hard at the monster's loosely connected skeleton. He stays completely quiet for a long second. Chu Yi smiles with pure certainty. Just as he thought. These guys were the exact ones responsible for Zungia's tragic death. Seriously? How could the Chu clan's ruthless ancestor let his enemies die so easily? Sunlight hits the totally motionless skeleton. His voice stays completely steady. After absolutely trashing their hive, the ancestor slapped them with a twisted curse of infinite resurrection. Using Zungia's actual dragon scale for power, he forced their bodies to become eternal tomb guardians for Zungia himself. If anyone tries to bust in with force, they get attacked. Plus, even if you shatter these bone demons, they just instantly rebuild themselves. Chu Yi keeps walking, murmuring that even a top-tier master would really struggle to survive a brutal battle of attrition like this. Honestly, no wonder the descendants of the Chu clan always end up getting stuck at this brutal second trial. But if he completely drops his killing intent and plays harmless, these mindless monsters will naturally just lose their target. He takes step after step through the freezing snow, heavily pondering the situation out loud. This is honestly a genius, twisted method of revenge, using the enemy's own bodies as a meat shield, punishing them with an endless, miserable, near-death state. This kind of payback is way crueler than just killing them. A biting wind howls, forcing Chu Yi to squeeze one eye shut, but his mind is still racing. His ancestor was an absolute madman. Standing right here in the freezing snow, his resolve hardens. One day, he is definitely going to surpass even that ridiculous level of strength. He stares down at Zungia's massive, imposing skeleton before finally launching himself straight toward the ground. But out of nowhere, an invisible force violently blasts him back. Chu Yi gets totally slammed into solid rock. He painfully tries to get back up, totally confused by what just happened. What on earth was that? A massive phantom of Zungia appears, booming with authority, demanding his identity. And that is where we leave it. Trust me, you're going to want to see what happens next. Let's dive right into this madness. The beast roared, demanding if the scum who trapped it sent him. Chu Yi forced himself up, shouting out to Shuangya. Shuangya bared its massive fangs in pure rage. Are you here to mock me? A pathetic level 30 grunt like you isn't even worthy of touching my claws. You pack of disgusting parasites. All you people know is how to leech our dragon clan's power. The blood in your veins reeks of the exact same stench as those murderers. Its fury exploded, opening its massive jaws wide to spew even more venomous insults at him. You all just want to see me go insane. You greedy, selfish bastards. Do whatever you want. You coveted my body, wanting to forge me into a weapon. Chu Yi frantically tried to explain, telling the beast to wait, that he carried the Chu family bloodline, but Shuangya ruthlessly cut him off. Still seething with anger, it mocked the Chu family bloodline. So, what if you have their blood? Its rage intensified wildly as it launched an attack, screaming at him. How much longer will you people keep lying to me? You absolute piece of trash. I will tear you into 100 pieces. The devastating blow forced him into a completely desperate dodge. Chu Yi thought to himself, so fast. Too dangerous. The beast opened its massive jaws, firing off beam after beam of raw energy. He dodged every single blast, still desperately trying to reason. Shuangya, do you not remember? Years ago, you were the one who destroyed your own dragon core to seal the demon clan portal. You are literally the hero of the Chu family. But Shuangya refused to hear a single word, firing back with its own wild accusations. The dragon core is the beating heart of my dragon clan. Why in the world would I rip it out myself? Now, pay attention here. The rage is unreal. It screamed that humans dug out its core, and now he was putting on a fake act. Lies. It is all just lies. Its attacks grew even faster, slamming into the solid ice and shattering it to pieces. It roared out, vowing to rip apart everyone who ever deceived it. Fighting through the intense pain, Chu Yi still tried to calm the monster down. Shuangya, just calm down and listen. Don't you remember? The beast just whipped its massive tail right at him, roaring for him to get lost. Chu Yi was sent flying backward, but somehow managed to land on his feet. He realized the horrible truth. Shuangya had completely lost its memories. Plus, being locked up for so long had tormented its soul, making it attack absolutely anyone who approached. Its ancient mind is just in absolute, complete chaos, truly worthy of being the ancestors' contracted beast. Even after a full century, the leftover power of its dragon soul is more than enough to strike fear into anyone's heart. His expression grew completely dark, his body covered in severe injuries. But he refused to yield. He knew his level and raw strength were way lower than Shuangya, but there was no way in hell he was giving up right now. Since I have made it all the way to the Ice Dragon Abyss, I absolutely refuse to leave here empty-handed. A bright glowing cross symbol suddenly appeared right on Chu Yi's forehead as he screamed out a bold challenge. You want to vent your anger? Then come on and fight me. Fight me until you finally remember everything. You are probably wondering how he survives this, right? Just watch. He summoned a brilliant golden blast, and their two immense powers violently crashed right into each other. The monstrous beast spat out another massive blast of pure power, sending it straight for him and kicking up a blinding blizzard of snow and dust. Exploding out from within that white cloud, Chu Yi charged forward, sword in hand. Bring it on. If the Chu family ancestor could form a contract with you, then so can I. I will make you return to the clan. He swung his heavy blade again and again. Meanwhile, somewhere totally different, Ling Feng was casually enjoying a dragon-shaped ice cream bar. While munching on that exclusive Chu family popsicle, Ling Feng sighed. She has literally been standing there for 3 days and 3 whole nights. She is seriously about to turn into a stone statue waiting for her husband. Sonian immediately shot him a terrifying glare through the window, threatening him. Do you have a death wish for that big mouth of yours? Ling Feng's face instantly darkened, and he gritted his teeth so hard they almost shattered as he just kept spouting his total nonsense. You are Kong Sonian now, right? Suddenly, Haibok rushed in completely frantic, slamming the door open and screaming that things were bad. You guys have to leave right now. The two of them asked in sheer confusion, what just happened? But she totally ignored their question, barging inside and rambling nonstop. Before she gets here, my father ordered me to get you two out of this place immediately. Quickly. Where the hell is Chu Van? Ling Feng asked her with clear impatience. What do you even mean? Just spit it out. She grabbed Sonian's hand, her face completely etched with pure worry as she stammered. I cannot explain it right now. Just hurry up and follow me right this second. But Sonian calmly replied to her frantic plea. If you do not tell us what is actually going on, there is no way we can help you fix this. Besides, Brother Chu Yi is still down in the Ice Dragon Abyss. I absolutely will not leave this place so easily. Ling Fang completely agreed with Sonian and chimed in. She is totally right. I, Ling Fang, am not some weak, useless bum. Just tell us what happened. If we can help you out, we definitely will. She waved her hands frantically, trying to explain. No, that is not it. I did not mean anything by that at all. You guys cannot handle this. So who is coming? Trust me, we need to see what happens before it is officially too late. Stick with me. Here you are about to see Chu Hong's attack, past Lady Hong, stunning her completely. He glared at her. Lady Hong, our Chu family territory isn't a playground for you to just act so arrogant. Meanwhile, Ling Fang and Sonian channeled their raw power into razor-sharp threads, swiftly wrapping them around Lady Hong's fingers. She just scoffed, totally unimpressed. Chu Hang, your power isn't even 30% of a level 40 right now, because you are suppressing that frozen bloodline. You seriously think you can stop me? Chu Hang pulled Chu Van behind him, trying to keep his voice steady. No matter how bad things get for the Chu family, we will never let an outsider harm our guests. He gripped his weapon, thinking fast. Chu Yi is at a critical breakthrough point in the Ice Dragon Abyss. I can't let her ruin this. Even if it means shattering my own frozen meridians, I just need to buy enough time for Chu Yi to escape. With a heavy breath, he launched a massive wall of solid ice straight at her. But elsewhere, her lips curled into a smirk. And where exactly are you going? Lady Hong casually leaned against a brutally beaten body. Suddenly, a voice echoed right from the doorway. It has been a while, little girl. Xiaoyi, Lingfang, and Chan froze in absolute shock, yelling out together, "You are actually alive." Now pay close attention. 30 minutes earlier, inside a huge traditional room, Lady Hong and her crew sat down for a very serious chat with the Chu clan patriarch. Lady Hong broke the silence first. Patriarch, I brought this year's Frost Essence Crystal. Another elder quickly chimed in. We really appreciate you making this long trip down here. Honestly, you could have just sent word and we would have fetched it ourselves. Right next to them sat several wildly sparkling treasure boxes. That Frost Essence Crystal? It is a super rare epic grade consumable that literally pulses with pure energy. Chu Feng, the third elder, waved his hand and ordered the servants to bring the goods forward. Beside him, Chu Hang watched the whole exchange. The servants lined up, displaying every single treasure. First up was the celestial snow silk thread, an insane material used to give any equipment crazy stealth effects. Next was the mystic ice jade, perfect for tempering weapons and adding a nasty passive frostbite effect. We kept our promise, the patriarch told her directly. We gathered all the heavenly materials we agreed on last year. Lady Hong just let out a cold, mocking little laugh. She casually checked her nails and sneered. Just this garbage? It is not nearly enough. She mocked them. Your clan is obviously hoarding the good stuff. Guess you guys really don't want the Frost Essence Crystal that badly after all, do you? Chu Hang instantly jumped to his feet, absolutely furious. Lady Hong, what is that supposed to mean? Our clan drains every last resource we have just to trade with you. Meanwhile, she was just holding a level 30 treasure, the Frostbite Halberd. Like a toy, base physical attack plus 350. Ice damage plus 120. The patriarch narrowed his eyes. This greedy woman demands more every single year. What kind of dirty trick is she playing this time? I know what you are thinking. A normal negotiation? Think again. She snapped the halberd entirely in half. I am sick of these flashy, useless trinkets. So this year, we are trading for something entirely different. Agree to this, and you get a full year's supply of crystals. The third elder forced a polite smile, sweating a bit. And what exactly would you like to trade for? Chu Hang's instincts screamed that something was very wrong here. A living person, she whispered. A living person? The patriarch echoed, totally baffled. Who exactly? She stared him dead in the eye. Chu Yi. Chu Hang snapped. What the hell did you say? The patriarch kept his cool and held his ground. Lady Hong, that has to be a joke. We do not trade human beings here. But inside, Chu Hong was panicking. Why target Chu Yi out of nowhere? She just smiled, completely shameless about it. A joke? You are the funny one here. Trading one kid to save your entire clan? That is an absolute steal. The patriarch had heard enough. His face hardened. Lady Hong, I am going to have to ask you to leave. Chu Yi is our family. He is not some product for you to buy. But she didn't even look at him. just coldly kept filing her nails. If you refuse this deal, do you really think your precious Chu clan will even survive another 2 months? The third elder looked at the patriarch in absolute panic. Last year, 3 of our kids died young because of that cursed frozen bloodline. Patriarch, if she cuts off our crystal supply right now, we are completely doomed. The old man's heart sank. The Mammoth Guild literally owns the only mine in the world that produces those frost crystals. Thanks to their family's frost curse, the Chu bloodline is getting weaker and weaker with every single passing generation. They desperately need those crystals not just for power, but to literally stop themselves from freezing to death from the inside out. So what do you and I make of this? They are trapped, forced to hand over insane loot to the Mammoth Guild every year. Finally, he snapped. Not another word. I would rather see our bloodline completely severed. Stick with me, we are about to watch a clan leader completely refuse to sell out his people. But the furious third elder argued right back, shouting that the patriarch needed to think about the clan's children. Sure, Chu Yi is an absolute genius, but he is way too young to save the entire Chu clan. Jumping to his feet, the elder screamed that survival was their only option. Dying meant losing absolutely everything forever. The patriarch stared him down, his voice dead serious. The clan never protected Chu Yi. He wouldn't drag the boy down. The elder kept screaming about the kids, but the patriarch stood absolute ground. He turned to Lady Hong and demanded she leave, cursing the foolish elder in his head. This woman was forcing him to choose between his genius boy and the clan, fearing his insane future potential. If they threw Chu Yi to the wolves, the Chu clan was already dead and completely beyond saving. Lady Hong dropped her act. Her chilling voice echoed as she accepted his firm choice. Standing up with her guards, she spat pure venom. Their supply of frost essence crystals was officially cut off. She left a brutal threat: let the old geezer and his clan rot and perish together. Snapping back to the present, Lady Hong mockingly thanked Little Miss Xiao for leading the way. Now watch closely, this gets absolutely ruthless. Cruel silk threads choked Xiao Yi completely out cold. With the girl unconscious on the floor, Lady Hong flashed a twisted grin. She remembered that clueless patriarch, daring to signal Chu Hang right to her face. Did he think she was blind? Worried, Sun Xian rushed over. Lin Fong refused to retreat. Hyobak charged at lightning speed, screaming he was going for the kill. Lady Hong's minions rushed in, getting tangled in the silk ribbons, but Lin Fong never slowed down. He unleashed a crazy barrage of attacks. Creatures swarmed Sun Xian, but she rapidly sliced them into 100 pieces. Their shattered remains rained right down onto the floor. Lin Fong cast a blazing firewall for protection. Lady Hong just smirked at their brand new teamwork. She laughed, noting their 3 days of practice made things interesting. She was honestly liking them. Lady Hong realized something crazy. Both the succubus girl and the flame dragon were nearing a massive breakthrough. She actually called them geniuses out loud, but immediately delivered a brutal reality check. They were about to become dust. A Sunian helped Hyobak up, realizing protecting him was splitting her focus entirely. You and I both thought they already killed this woman, right? What is she doing back here? Lost in her own head, she completely missed the deadly silk thread sneaking up right behind her. He tried to scream, but choked. The deadly thread crept closer, and Sun Xian had absolutely no idea. Boom! It coiled tightly around her. Lady Hong's voice echoed, mocking her completely pathetic combat experience. Even Lin Fong got instantly trapped by threads shooting straight up from the ground. She bragged about leading the House of Teach, calling their families pathetic. The warm-up game was officially over. She decided to end them personally. A thread yanked Suni forward during her ruthless taunt. She mocked the succubus girl's missing power. Right as Lin Fong was violently slammed hard against the wall, her blood-seeking threads loved his dragon flames. In seconds, both fighters were hoisted high into the air, completely immobilized. Lady Hong scoffed at them. Fighting someone this overpowered? They still had a long way to go. Her face dropped. Where is Chuni? Instead of answering, he roared in pure defiance. Let him go or get burned. Lady Hong ignored him, walking right toward the heavy curtains. Since Chuni ran into the raging wind mountains alone to save his sister, she knew capturing her would force him out. He screamed in pure rage. Don't touch her. Chu Van hid behind the curtain, but Lady Hong already spotted her. That chilling voice echoed, mocking her for hiding back there. Did she expect to see her brother from there? Sunny refused to quit, screaming for strength one last time. Countless red threads wrapped around Lady Hong's hands. Now, the villain was absolutely furious. Fine, time to show them real power. Instantly, an entire army of terrifying puppets rose to their feet. Massive puppets launched a wild assault. Blue cracks rapidly spread across Chu Hang's face. Using this many puppets just to capture Chungi? Trust me, We're looking at absolute war. Let's jump right into the madness. Puppets swarming. Chu Hong grabs a chain, leaps, and screams. Lin Fong, take the others and run. I will hold them back. Seeing his heroic play, Lady Hong screeches, you are not escaping me. With Sun Yan carrying Chu Van and Lin Fong grabbing Hu Bok, they yell out in agreement. Right. Cut to Chung Ji gripping an orb of raw, pure energy. He glares at the massive beast, dashes forward, and smashes a brutal hit right on its skull. Die. He roars out. Sacred Fist Barrage. Right after, Chung Ji smoothly dodges a lethal energy beam. He shoves his hand out, using just one epic technique to totally shut down his enemy. Holy Light Cross, he shouts. Begone now. Before the strike connects, the beast just stares at Chung Ji's overwhelming presence. It barely whispers out one single word, Master. An absolutely godly punch slams down. Hand of God. Then, pure, eerie silence. The heavy dust settles, leaving absolutely nothing behind but total devastation. Now watch this exchange closely. Chung Ji lands, looking icy cold. Finally, quiet. The battered giant beast whispers, who are you? He doesn't hide a single thing. I am Chung Ji, a proud descendant of Chu Fan. He sits, catching his breath, and starts laying out the dragon's tragic history. 100 years ago, you sacrificed everything to smash the demon portal, saving the Tianlan continent. My ancestor was your master. He sealed your soul here, then went off totally alone to find a way to revive you. But he vanished too. Chung Ji smirks and drops an offer. Come with me. I will take care of you now. Trapped here forever, your mind slowly completely broke down. I had to use extreme force just to snap you back to reality. Hearing this painful truth, the mighty dragon shuts its eyes in pure grief. So that is it. My dragon core is totally shattered. How could I ever live again? It refuses to accept reality. 100 years wasted, and its master is really gone. Staring right into Chu Yi's eyes, it asks, you came here for the dragon soul, right? Kanga explains, I see your core foundation is totally ruined. You need perfectly pure energy to fix this. When my soul enters you, the pain will feel like 10,000 ants eating your heart alive. Your physical body will literally feel shredded to pieces, over and over again. Can you handle that? Chu Yi does not even blink. I am. Because you and I both know, failing to protect the people you love is way worse than any physical torture. Hearing those absolute boss words, Kanga is seriously impressed. This Chu family kid has incredible guts. It blasts pure power right at Chu Yi and roars, come, boom. An orange vortex packed with glowing green light erupts. His totally frozen blood vessels actually start rapidly healing up. A bright green mist explodes from his body. Deep inside, that thick, deadly ice freezing, his veins finally start shattering apart. Chu Yi shuts his eyes tight, gritting his teeth hard as pure agony twists his face. Kanga shouts out encouragement. Hold on just a second longer. Your meridians were completely broken. Without me, you would have been dead in a month. Those glowing green specks immediately rush in to rebuild Chu Yi's shattered bones. Every single fracture and deadly internal wound heals up piece by piece. But the pain he is enduring right now? Unimaginable. Blood starts leaking from his eyes, nose, and mouth. Yet the healing green light pumps endlessly, fully repairing his damaged heart. Chu Yun flashes a bright, joyful smile. The rest of the Helen group feels exactly the same relief. Suron squints, turning around in utter shock. The completely pitch-black sky looks like it is tearing wide open. A dark silhouette stands in front of the giant dragon. System pop-ups span the screen. 100% Ice Dragon Fusion complete. Core foundation fully restored. Ice affinity up 500%. Right then, awesome dragon horns sprout from Chu Yi's head. Congrats on clearing the hidden mission. Perfect second advancement reward dragon. God's domain. Kanga leaves a final command, protect this world in my place. Back with the villains, Madame Hong uses her sick puppet strings to tightly bind a young girl. She steps up, snaps the tension, and drops her hard. Then, she violently whips a glowing red ribbon straight at Chu Yun. She coos with a fake, creepy sweetness. Come here, little sister. I won't bite. Instantly, the magical red silk completely wraps around Chu Yun. Good girl. Now take me to your brother. But right then, a bloody, battered hand shoots out and grabs her ankle tight. Get off me. Madame Hong glares down in pure, utter disgust at the guy clutching her leg. This dying little flame dragon is pretty stubborn, playing the white knight. Aren't we? Lin Fong, using his last ounce of strength, he blocks her. Madame Hong sneers. That is where we leave it, trust me. You'll want to see what's next. Let's dive into this wild showdown. Look at him, beaten like a dog. He can't even protect himself, let alone someone else. Pathetic, right? But even on the verge of total collapse, Ling Feng refuses to back down. He is determined to protect Chu Yun. What do you know, Shen Lingfeng? Even if I die, you aren't touching her. Lingfeng screams. Madame Hong just stares with ice in her eyes. Let go, she orders coldly. Never, he yells. Sick of his stubbornness, Madame Hong lifts her heel and viciously stomps down on his hand, gripping her leg. How about now, she taunts. But despite the absolute agonizing pain, Lingfeng won't budge. Tears are absolutely streaming down Chu Yun's face by now. She cries out in pure agony. Mr. Shen, please let go. Forget about me. My brother won't blame you. But Lingfeng just roars, opens his mouth, and bites down viciously on Madame Hong's leg. Never, he screams. Mr. Shen. Chu Yun cries. Now Madame Hong is absolutely furious. She kicks him away with insane force. You actual lunatic, Lingfeng slams his hands into the dirt, barely stopping his momentum from that brutal kick. Chu Yun screams out in panic. Mr. Shen, Madame Hong rubs her chin, sizing him up. This kid is way tougher than she thought. Making the proud flame dragon bloodline submit this completely? Wild. It means this Chu Yi really is an insanely valuable prize. Then, Madame Hong just snaps her fingers in total disgust. You worthless trash. I have zero interest in you. If you really want to die so badly. She wraps a deadly puppet string right around his neck. Then farewell. The sharp string violently tightens. Lingfeng's eyes bulge out, his mouth gasping for air. Pure, unbearable agony takes over his face. Chu Yun screams in total terror. Brother Shen, run. Seeing him go limp, she just breaks down sobbing. She turns and begs her attacker. Please, stop. I am begging you. Do not hurt him anymore. I will go with you. Now, pay close attention. This is where everything flips. An absolutely crushing pressure drops on them. Even Madame Hong freezes in total fear. What is this terrifying pressure? She stammers. The second those words escape her, a massive shockwave of energy rushes in and slams right into her. Boom. Chu Yi appears in a blinding flash to save his sister, rocking golden wings and 2 epic dragon horns on his head. Brother. Chu Yun cries out, totally stunned. Chu Yi scans the area. Lingfeng is brutally wounded, and Su Ran is pierced by endless puppet strings. Little Ran. Then, Zhou Yi spots Xiao Bai and Uncle Hang out cold, lying completely motionless on the ground. Xiao Bai. Uncle Hang. He calmly exhales a puff of smoke. But instantly, Zhou Yi's eyes completely transform. One flashes gold, the other icy blue. He channels crazy power into a massive weapon. Holy lightning, celestial chains. Lady Hong's eyes go wide. She licks her lips, a twisted smile of pure excitement forming as Zhou Yi stands right in front of her. Countless creepy puppets materialize, all looking exactly like her. Zhou Yi, you finally came out to play. But any puppet stepping close? Instantly vaporized into dust. Like a ghost, Lady Hong suddenly teleports right behind Zhou Yi. She softly coos. Why don't you be a good boy and just come home with me? Zhou Yi stays silent. He simply stomps his foot, completely shattering the earth beneath him. In a flash, a brutal energy wave slashes right toward Lady Hong's neck, while he gently scoops up his sister into his arms. You feel that too, right? Zhou Yi's power blasts her completely away. Lady Hong panics in terror. His strength is horrifying. Sure, he destroyed the weak ones, but a handful of her absolute highest tier puppets are still standing. But even those elite fighters are struggling to survive Zhou Yi's relentless attacks. Meanwhile, her level 20 puppets? Completely useless right now. My level 30 elite, my level 40 guardian. I poured my soul into making them, she thinks. Yet somehow, he just rendered her entire puppet army totally powerless. Pushed to the edge, she leaps forward to desperately attack. Lady Hong unleashes a massive storm of sharp strings, her eyes going wild as she screams. This is impossible. You are only level 30. You can't possibly jump a 15-level gap. But this just makes me want you more. She screams an order to her puppet. Trap him. Instantly, the crimson threads weave together, forming a massive red sphere that traps Zhou Yi and his sister completely inside. Even now, Lady Hong stays extremely confident in her ultimate binding technique. Now that you have dead weight to protect, who cares if you can fight above your level? With that, she and her puppet charge, striking the sphere with max power. Trapped inside that cage, Zhou Yi stays terrifyingly calm. He simply mutters 2 words. Divine Tempest. Boom. A massive energy explosion erupts, completely shattering the giant sphere into pieces. As the shock wave rips apart the terrain for miles, the only safe spot left is right where Zhou Yi stands. Lady Hong frantically tries to form a backup plan. This raw power cannot even be measured anymore. This is bad. I need to retreat. Right now. But Zhao Yi coldly walks toward her, calling out to Sun and Fang. Realizing she is out of options, Lady Hong screams in panic. Wait a minute. Desperate, she tries one last threat. Zhou Yi, if you dare lay a finger on me, the Enchantment Commerce Guild will hunt you down. This is the guild's absolute highest wanted notice. The second I rip this, you will be hunted to the ends of the earth, until you die. She is certain he is intimidated. But you and I know better, right? You really wouldn't want your precious Zhou family dragged into this? Right? The dragon's absolutely murderous aura locked straight onto her. You and I are about to watch her realize she just picked a fight with an absolute demon. Terrified by that monstrous thing, she quickly clasps her hands and forces a pathetic smile. Master Zhou Yi. Look, this is all just one giant, terrible misunderstanding. With that massive ethereal dragon coiling right around her, Lady Hong frantically spills it. I was wrong. I never should have laid a finger on Yun or Suran. And I definitely shouldn't have made a deadly enemy out of you. Spare my life. And every single cold marrow crystal I own is yours. I'll even give the Zhou family a cut of the guild's crystal mine. Zhou Yi narrows his eyes. A whole mine? She nods wildly. That mine pumps out enough cold marrow crystals to comfortably supply the entire Zhou family for 100 years. Think about it. Your family's frozen bloodline curse? Why even waste your time on a total nobody like me? She's utterly desperate. She goes all in. I'll be your most loyal dog. Say the word, and I will literally walk through fire and climb Blade Mountains for you. No questions asked. But deep inside her twisted head, the second my puppet strings connect, I'm teleporting straight out of here. Back to guild headquarters in a flash. I just need to stall him a tiny bit longer, just a few more seconds. Hearing this garbage, Zhou Yi's expression turns ice cold. Now pay close attention here. Zhou Yi knows a snake like her never begs unless it's a trap. So? He shuts her down instantly. I don't need your trash. A true master ignores threats and rejects weak temptations. Lady Hong freezes, completely stunned. Before she can even react, Zhou Yi swings his arm, unleashing an absolutely massive wave of raw energy. Frantic, she weaves her puppet strings into a desperate shield. But against his godlike power, it shatters into a million pieces instantly. Her eyes practically pop out of her skull. She can't believe this reality. Right before the final strike hits, she realizes the truth. He's no normal holy knight. He's a literal god wrapped in holy light. Absolutely unbelievable. With Lady Hong wiped out, Chu Yi sets Zhu Yun down safely. Blasting away the threads trapping Sununi, he gently catches her as she falls. Gazing down at the unconscious girl, Chu Yi whispers softly, I'm finally back. Ling Fang watches, completely mind-blown. The monster he couldn't beat at full power? Zhao Yi just folded her in 2 seconds flat. How is that physically possible? He just stares blankly at Chu Yi. Watching him walk over, he feels a spark of intense inspiration. Zhou Yi actually bows his head. Hand on his chest, he looks right at Ling Feng and gives him a totally sincere, thank you. Thanks for risking everything to protect my sister. Hearing that respect, Ling Feng grins and just bursts out laughing. Then hurry up and heal me, man. I'm literally bleeding out over here. Meanwhile, across town, the Chu clan patriarch stands frozen in front of a massive painting. Now, here's where things get wild for us. That portrait? It's Zhou Yi. The patriarch turns to the real Chu Yi, standing right there. You came, our first official meeting. And as patriarch, I completely failed. I'm sorry you had to witness this absolute disaster today. I'm deeply ashamed. But Zhou Yi skips the polite small talk and cuts straight to business. Drop the formalities. Tell me right now why the Chu clan desperately needs the ice marrow crystal. You need absolute power to protect Zhu Yun. Otherwise, she is never returning to this family. The patriarch sighs. Did Zhuo Heng warn you? He mentioned things, but stayed vague. The old man quietly studies Chu Yi, completely and utterly blown away. This kid just survived a brutal death match. Yet his energy, completely calm, steady as a bottomless lake. The raw, cold ruthlessness in his eyes easily crushes those pampered rich kids raised in total safety. The patriarch finally explains. Their clan's curse heavily tanked the awakening rate of their legendary ice bloodline. Worse, it made their bodies way too frail to survive the freezing backlash. Every single year, clan members literally freeze to death from the inside out. Your sister, Zhuo Yun, already suffered through this nightmare. Luckily, hers was the mildest form of the freeze. That's exactly why the extreme cold ice lotus actually worked to heal her. But for 90% of the Chu clan descendants, only the ultra-rare ice marrow crystal can suppress that deadly freeze. Lady Hong abused this exact weakness. He growls. That's why she jacked up the tribute every year. But this time, she crossed a major line. She tried to trade your life for the ice marrow crystal. His voice practically drips with cold, unfiltered fury over the tribute. But before the old man can finish his rant, Chu Yi cuts him off cold. Starting today, the payments stop. The Chu patriarch leans heavily on his cane, staring off into the distance. He starts breaking down the grim reality for Chu Yi. But trust me, taking out Lady Hong is just problem number 1. Stick with me here, this gets wild. The Misty Guild controls the crystal mines, meaning the clan has to beg. But Chu Yi? He just drops an absolute bombshell. Lady Hong is dead. Boom. The moment those words hit the air, the patriarchs completely freeze. The patriarch's eyes go wide. He actually trembles, screaming out in pure disbelief. What did you just say? She was a level 45 puppet master. A second advancement expert with hundreds of puppets guarding her. Even with a breakthrough in the Ice Dragon Abyss, killing her is absolutely impossible. Chu Yi just stays calm. She was way too arrogant. She didn't bring any backup. Plus, that abyss tripled the power of my ice skills. Right then, Chu Yi summons the legendary Frost Fang straight into thin air. And the kicker? I fully awakened Frost Fang in there. The patriarch's eyes basically pop out of his head. It awakened? Does it actually remember our ancestors? Chu Yi quickly steps in to answer. It remembers healing my body and helping me crush Lady Hong. But the dragon's soul is super weak right now, so I stored it inside me. Unless I absolutely have to, I am not waking it up. Hearing this, the Chu patriarch throws his head back and absolutely loses it. He is so insanely hyped that he drops his cane completely. He instantly hits his knees, praying wildly in front of the clan portrait. Ancestors, did you hear this? Getting Frost Fang's respect at his age? This kind of raw courage and insane destiny? Honestly, even the ancestors probably could not match this kid. The new generation really crushes the old, the patriarch thinks, bursting with pride. I thought he was just super talented. I never imagined he could pull something off like this. Throwing his hands up, he screams out, "The heavens have not abandoned our Chu clan." Chu Yi quickly grabs the cane, looking slightly concerned. Patriarch, maybe you should stand up first. Helping the old man up, the patriarch just laughs hard. My bad for losing it. I was just way too hyped. Then Chu Yi gets serious and says, "Tell me everything about this merchant guild." He thinks to himself, an evil cult is already targeting Chu Yun. I really cannot play bodyguard for her forever. If I help the Chu clan crush this merchant guild, this will definitely be the safest place for her. The Chu patriarch stops holding back. Stroking his beard, he starts spilling absolutely every single detail he knows. That Misty Guild started as a tiny shop, run by some low-level martial artist named Lu Xun, just scraping by, smuggling cheap ore to survive. Now pay close attention. 10 years ago, everything completely flips. That year, Black Wind Valley got slammed by a once-in-a-century blizzard. Every single trade route completely froze over. Lu Xun took his crew into that deadly valley. A month and a half later, he was the only survivor. Suddenly, he starts pulling out an endless supply of cold marrow crystals, profound ice jades, and glowing prosperity stones. He even got his hands on ultra-rare silver essence ore, stuff you only see once a century. The clan leader pulls out a wooden box to show Chu Yi. Lu Xun claimed he struck a massive mineral vein and somehow locked down the mining rights. For years, tons of people tried sneaking in to steal his route. They either vanished completely or ended up frozen solid right outside the valley. Not a single person has ever seen this mine entrance. Hearing this, Chu Yi instantly knows something is off. Way too many convenient coincidences here. The patriarch's face turns dead serious right now. He keeps going. The coincidences do not stop. 3 years ago, we could easily buy cold marrow crystals from traveling merchants. Sure, it was a little bit pricey, but it was definitely enough to supply our clan. You and I both know this is no accident. That spring, every merchant vanished, and the market completely dried up. Just as panic started setting in, Lady Hong came knocking at our door. She handed the clan a very suspicious offer. She claimed to have a private vein, promising to supply us with crystals at literally half the price. The only catch? We had to handle some small troubles for them. Chu Yi narrows his eyes, repeating it. Small troubles? Recalling the nightmare, the leader explains. Bluntly put, she wanted us as her attack dogs, crushing any small families who refused to bow down to her guild. Around this province, he adds, most minor families suffer from severe bloodline defects. The guild offers them rare cultivation resources. The price? Handing over the absolute best, most talented kid they have. But once those kids leave, they never come back. These families absolutely hate the guild, but dread losing their lifeline. So what do? take all their rage out straight on our clan instead. We became the hated attack dogs. For 2 years, anytime our clan members step outside, they get ambushed and totally harassed. The guild's entire master plan was leaving us completely isolated, with absolutely zero backup. So what do you and I make of this? Chu Yi strokes his chin, finally piecing together the massive, insane conspiracy. Stick with me here, this conspiracy is wild. First, monopolize the supply. Then, drop prices and use the Zhao clan to crush any dissenters. Finally, you turn the Zhao clan into a massive public target. The leader completely agrees. After that, every single guild delivery came with shady new conditions. They knew they were walking straight into a deadly trap. But with their sick children needing those cold marrow crystals to survive, the clan had zero choice. They just had to close their eyes and jump. He pulls out a cold marrow crystal, holding it up for Chu Yi to see. This crystal arrived last year. 3 years ago, these things were a brilliant, pure ice blue, but lately, they are tainted with a dark blackish hue. Chu Yi grabs the crystal as the leader speaks. Madame Hong claimed it was just a natural impurity from deep inside the mines, but their physician suspects something corroded them. The second Chu Yi touches it, glowing golden smoke instantly wraps around his bare fingers. That pure power just keeps spreading. Strangely, a wisp of jet black energy trails right behind it. But a second later, his golden aura completely shatters that darkness. Chu Yi realizes something. This demonic energy is super faint, but feels insanely familiar. He has definitely felt this exact aura somewhere before. Then, another detail hits him hard. Madame Hong actually told him something. The leader cuts in. When the Great Lord wakes up, your curse vanishes. Chu Yi knows this is not Lu Xuan. Now pay close attention here. To make a level 45 puppeteer like Madame Hong bow down, there has to be a terrifying true power pulling these strings. Luan simply does not have what it takes. Chu Yi clenches his fists tightly. Madame Hong is dead, and the guild wants payback. He caused this mess, so he will face the fallout alone. The clan leader immediately snaps back. You belong to the Zhao bloodline. You carry the same blood as our ancestors. The old man grips his shoulder firmly. Your fight is the Zhao clan's fight now. No matter the storm, we face it together. Chu Yi smiles, grasping the old man's hand. He truly appreciates it. But turning toward his arriving teammates, he knows he is never alone. Linggong complains loudly. Took you long enough. Taishan runs up to Big Bro Yi. The headmaster heard you were in trouble, so he packed the 3 of us up and shipped us straight over. You and I love a good squad reveal, right? A level 23 spirit Taoist, plus a mage and warrior. Chu Yi is completely stunned. 2 months passed, and you all got way stronger. Tam laughs, patting his chest. Of course they follow their leader. They refuse to be the ones dragging him down. Holland grabs Lin Hai's shoulders with a totally knowing look. On the way here, Lin Hai even wanted to ask for ice magic pointers. So why is she acting so shy now? Lin Hai nervously clasps her hands together, hesitating, calling out to him. Chun Yi stands amidst the lush campus. His flawless face stands out perfectly with a faint, confident smile. He urges them on. This is an emergency. We talk on the way. The group follows right behind him. Nearby, an old man leaning on a cane silently watches them leave. His gentle gaze tracks the squad. He whispers that the boy is exactly like his legendary ancestor. The squad chatters excitedly. Someone wants road snacks, while another wonders if Black Wind Mountain is freezing cold. One brags about awesome snow boots, declaring this young master is absolutely not afraid of the cold. Their clan has massive cold resistance anyway. Standing slightly to the side, the MC is completely lost in thought. He feels like a total third wheel. Suddenly, his eyes sharpen with an intense, calculating look. Normally, he would just sneak in solo. The map lights up with a clear route. After all, that demonic energy is completely useless against him. Facing a stronger enemy, he could just use the Void Beast's power to escape. A flashback hits the image of him holding a girl right after slaying Lady Hong. Besides issuing basic daily quests, his system has been super quiet for a long time. But now, it feels like a forced command, blocking his solo route. A dazzling golden panel flashes open. Trust me on this. Time system mission activated. Team up and expose the guild's dark secrets. The mission reward? Every participating member receives 1 S+ rank skill book. Chest heaving, Chungi is sprawled on the floor in just his underwear. Right in front of him, a glowing system panel. Stick with me, his so-called strongest support system is finally showing its true colors. And it's insane. The real goal isn't just the mission, it's working with his team. Suddenly, a dark memory hits him. His comrades, battered and knocked out cold. He always believed his raw power was enough to keep his loved ones completely safe. But raw power alone? nowhere near enough. A deadly, razor-sharp look flashes right across his eyes. Lady Hong's sudden attack was a massive wake-up call. Even the fiercest lion has to close its eyes eventually. And when he's asleep and totally alone, that is exactly when the wild dogs sneak in to take a bite. Thea Tam's loud shout snaps him out of it. Hey, if we don't move right now, Night's gonna catch us out here. So Nian rushes over, looking super anxious. Brother Chungi, are you all right? He just shuts his eyes. I'm fine, time to move out. He turns to the entire squad and shouts toward the giant teleportation circle. Right as the portal closes, someone yells back, about damn time. Another guy immediately complains, wait, no food first? I am absolutely starving. Chungi watches his squad stepping forward, but they still turn back, flashing him these huge smiles. He's incredibly proud of them. Thea Tam, fiery and fearless. Halen, flashy but super detail-oriented. Ling Feng, all tough talk but a total softie. The timid yet unbreakable Ling Shi. And the quiet, relentless Tunin. These guys, his best teammates, they are exactly why this lion can finally sleep peacefully. A whole day vanishes in a flash, and the entire landscape radically shifts. Massive mountains, buried under pure white snow. It looks totally insane, clashing against that heavy, blood-red fog creeping everywhere. Now, pay close attention. Black Wind Valley. By year's end, it's drowning in snow and choking on this thick, terrifying crimson mist. Almost nobody who walks in here ever makes it out fully intact. An armored military truck tears right through the snow toward them. But here is the crazy part. The Merchant Guild's base is completely unguarded. It is almost like Lu Tu-yen doesn't care if anyone uncovers the valley's darkest secrets. Chungi's entire crew huddles up, freezing in heavy winter coats. So Nian nods. This is it. The public maps, they only show the valley's edge. Inside, totally blank. Nothing to go on. He casually shoves both hands deep into his freezing pockets. Expected that much. Chu Yi raises his hand, conjuring a brilliant blue butterfly before barking an order. Locate it. Boom. A skill panel pops up. This tracking skill burns raw mana, commanding the void butterfly to weave a magic circle that pinpoints exact spatial coordinates. Then the beast uses its hypersenses, locks onto the target, literally rips the void wide open, and teleports them straight there. Shivering, Thea Tam cups his hands, blowing hot air into his freezing palms. The wind in this cursed wasteland seriously feels like razor-sharp needles stabbing your skin. Hearing that, Chungi agrees mentally. He's absolutely right. This place is easily 3 times colder than the legendary Ice Dragon Abyss. He triggers his skills. A blinding golden aura bursts out, wrapping around him and the entire squad. Blessing of Courage. Weapons Blessing. Dawn's Blessing. God's Grace. Blessing of Protection. Layering epic buffs. He warns them. Squad, stay on high alert. You and I know support classes are wild, right? Ling Feng stares at his glowing body, totally stunned. It's his first time getting these insane buffs. The rumors didn't even do it justice. This power is unreal. Suddenly, his status window violently flashes onto the screen. Shen Ling Feng, level 22 Berserker. Strength 204 plus 61, jumping 30%. Agility 190 plus 57, Constitution 27 plus 63, all boosting 30%, Intelligence 170 plus 51 with that 30% buff. While they were just chatting, his raw combat power absolutely went through the roof. Perfect timing. He gets to test this out very soon. Bizarre, living threads silently snake through the snow, sneaking up on a backline member. Suddenly, Ling Shi is violently yanked high into the freezing air, screaming for help. Ling Feng snaps around in pure panic. What is going on? Someone pivots hard against the freezing snow and launches skyward. It is Chu Yi. He catches Ling Shi midair, holding her tight. Slashing his free hand, he slices the gross threads, painting a brilliant golden arc. Doing a flawless princess carry, they land smoothly back on the snow. Ling Shi blushes furiously. Thank you, Brother Yi. Ling Feng just glares at those creepy, squirming threads sprouting straight from the cliff. Seriously? What are those disgusting things? They look exactly like Madame Hong's terrifying puppet strings. Is there any way she survived? Chu Yi steps right up, looking totally deadpan. He grabs a thread and forcefully pumps his raw spiritual energy into it. The gross tendrils violently convulse as his raging spiritual energy totally fries them. They instantly shrink back. Those aren't strings. They are literal tentacles of a living monster. Chu Yi spins around. So what do you and I make of this trap? Helen triggers her spirit arts, floating up to look right through the solid cliff face. Glowing talismans swirl around her. Heaven and earth, primal sect, Absolute root of 10,000 energies. Let's jump right into the madness. Hallen thrusts her hands forward, sending talismans flying. They stick perfectly to the cliff, glowing with brilliant golden energy. Open, she screams. The formation kicks in, kicking up massive winds around her. Everyone's sweating bullets, sharing the exact same terrifying thought. Is the whole mountain alive? Suddenly, the snow vanishes, revealing an absolute nightmare of writhing tentacles, covered in hundreds of nasty, staring eyes. What even is this? Boom! Tentacles shoot out, twisting together into a massive, deadly drill spear. Hallen doesn't flinch. She draws a talisman mid-air, chanting for hidden thunder to strike down the demons. A massive golden shield materializes, blocking the brutal attack. High-level spirit art in action. Evil suppressing seal. But wait, weird dark spots are infecting it. The barrier violently corrodes, melting into nothing. The seal is totally busted, forcing Hallen to fly up. Dodging relentless strikes, she realizes the worst, that slime absorbs spiritual energy. Her powers run strictly on spirit energy. This monstrosity is her perfect counter. Chu Yi looks completely shocked. Now watch closely. The tentacles completely surround Chu Yi's squad, making Lingfeng furious. He summons a blazing fireball. His hair turns bright red, ready to turn this thing into ash. A massive wave of fire crashes right into the beast. But honestly, zero effect. The flames instantly die out, and the tentacles keep pushing. Lingfeng is super frustrated. Deep inside the slime, creepy eyes pop out, dropping these weird, puppet-like monsters. Humanoid shapes close in on the team. Their bodies, completely wrapped up in tentacles. Pitch-black faces, glowing white eyes. Just soulless zombies marching straight toward them. Terrifying. Thea Tam cracks her knuckles. She lives for this. Beside her, Su Ran is ice cold, hand resting tightly on her sword hilt. Chu Yi holds them back as a glowing system screen suddenly pops up. S+ sword heart. Holy light protection active. Leave this to me, he tells his team. Stay right here. These freaks are terrified of the holy light. Sword drawn, he blitzes in like a hurricane, slicing through the horde before they can even blink. You saw that too, right? Chu Yi cracks the code. Immune to magic, weak to physical hits. He yells for Thea Tam and Su Ran. They grab weapons and instantly charge. Tactics time. Thea Tam, shatter their front lines. Su Ran, you take them out from behind. Triangle formation. Let's push. Thea Tam is absolutely hyped. Finally, my time to shine. He points back to the others. Stay inside the barrier. Do not step out. Lingfeng is annoyed. He taps his chest, desperate for action. Hold up. I'm a berserker. I don't just use fire. He instantly summons a red spear crackling with sparks. Grinning like a maniac, he points it forward. Chu Yi nods. Lingfeng joins the front line. Ling Shi, Hallen stay back and analyze their weak spots. Both girls nod in total agreement. Got it. Lingfeng blasts forward at insane speed, leaving a trail of blinding golden rings. Leave some for me. Thea Tam leaps sky high, raising her massive, heavy battle axe. Aiming dead center for the huge eye, she screams out her mountain-cleaving strike. The blade slams down, dissolving the flesh instantly. She laughs, totally satisfied. It works. Meanwhile, Lingfeng and Su Ran are tearing it up. He skewers the beasts like chunks of meat. How's that for raw strength? Su Ran, cold and precise, slices the monsters clean in half. Chu Yi swings his golden blade with everything he has, obliterating them alongside Lingfeng. But the tentacles just keep writhing. Watching closely, Chu Yi realizes this horde is endlessly spawning. For every single one they kill, a fresh monster crawls right out of the mountainside. Suddenly, a black blur flies past Ling Shi. It's lightning fast, but her crazy agility catches a glimpse, and she completely freezes. She turns towards the battlefield, waving frantically. Brother Chu Yi, look, that's where we leave it. Chu Yi rushes over, and she shows him a mysterious token. Brother Yi, I pulled this token off one of those monsters. It belongs to the Tianlan family, and Hallen snagged a cloth covered in weird inscriptions. Let's dive right in. You and I are about to uncover a massive conspiracy with these minor families. They definitely came snooping around for whatever epic loot the Black Wind Valley crew left behind, which means those silver threads do more than drain magic. They literally suck away life force, completely mangling the bones of anyone caught in them. Figuring it out, Zhao Yi drops into a combat stance, gripping his sword tightly behind him. The actual source of these deadly silver threads? It's the mountain itself. Every single monster is wired straight to the cliff. With zero hesitation, Zhao Yi swings his blade with terrifying force, blasting a huge arc ahead. Forget fighting the monsters, he cuts their leashes. His strike absolutely rips through the earth, splitting the ground into a massive canyon. Time to see what's really hiding down there. The rune-covered stone slabs instantly shatter, crumbling away in a massive collapse. Total chaos all around them. But Zhao Yi's squad stands completely unharmed inside a solid protective barrier. As the heavy dust finally clears out, the hidden truth behind the mountain starts coming into focus. Ling Fong and Taishan freeze up, eyes wide with pure shock. She literally gasps out loud. Human skeletons are buried everywhere. And surrounding the team, giant blocks of solid ice, acting like mirrors reflecting their horrified faces right back at them. Taishan tosses her weapon onto her shoulder, totally confused. Wait, was everything just a fake illusion? Zhao Yi steps up, his reflection gliding across the frozen glass. He shakes his head, definitely real. Staring dead into one of the icy mirrors, he calls it out. This is all just camouflage for a hidden dungeon entrance. He breaks it down. Black Wind Valley was never a natural mountain range to begin with. Now, you and I need to pay close attention. It's a colossal dungeon that merged flawlessly, with our world totally undetected. The whole team is dead silent, hanging onto every word. Zhao Yi raises his hand, piecing this absolute madness together. Actually, Li Wan figured this out. The Merchant Guild left this place completely unguarded because the dungeon itself is the ultimate death trap. Any trespasser just becomes monster food. Ling Fong shoves his hands into his pockets, practically scoffing. So many dirty tricks. Ling Shi's eyes go wide. Wait, so those freaks they just killed? They were past intruders mutated into monsters. Zhao Yi doesn't deny it. He presses a hand against the freezing ice, sending magical ripples across the surface. Spot on. The mountain is the Gate 1 boss. You die here, your soul gets bound to the rocks forever. A blinding light flares up under his palm. He shouts for everyone to brace themselves. The second gate's boss is waking up. Crack! The icy sky above them violently shatters into a million pieces. The squad instantly groups up, standing back to back for war. Ling Fong screams out. These broken mirrors are setting up a sneak attack. Zhao Yi barks out orders. Ling Shi, stack up 2 more layers of ice and earth. Do not give these things an opening. She quickly replies, got it. Every falling shard reflects the crew's anxious and exhausted faces. You and I both know, something nasty is coming. Through the heavy fog, a single creepy silhouette slowly walks right up to Zhao Yi. In another zone, Ling Shi is suddenly trapped inside a massive, dense forest. She spins around, totally lost. Brother Yi, Xiaolon, where is everyone? Gripping her staff, she nervously scans the spooky shadows. Now over to Ling Fong. Shirt ripped off, fists glowing with raw energy, absolutely growling with rage. What is this ugly monstrosity? Now we cut right over to Helen. She's taking cover behind a huge pillar, gripping a massive talisman, and desperately chanting for all 10,000 mystic energies. Next is Chu Ran, standing alone on a transparent platform, gripping her blade tightly and yelling. And Taishan? She's going crazy in a graveyard, throwing a massive mountain-shattering strike. But an exact, perfect clone blocks it. The insane shockwave actually caves the ground in, cracking the earth wide open. She curses out loud. Some sick illusion. This annoying fake even copies this old lady's raw powerhouse strength. The fake stares back with dead eyes, mocking her by repeating her exact words. Some sick illusion. This annoying fake even copies my strength. Taishan is absolutely disgusted. Makes me sick. She violently yanks her giant axe right out of the clone's grip. Charging up her free hand, she throws a brutal hook with everything she's got. But the fake easily blocks the punch. Boom. Total setup. Seizing the opening, she throws a brutal blind spot kick, catching the clone completely off guard. The impact launches the fake backward, totally destroying the tombstones. You and I love a satisfying beatdown. Taishan strolls over and sneers at it. You absolute idiot. Couldn't even recognize a simple feint. Stick with me here. Lying in the rubble, the lifeless clone just muttered you fell for a feint. Totem just looked down from above, arms crossed, completely unbothered. She realized this cheap copy could only mimic finished moves. It had zero idea how to actually adapt. But then, boom, a massive tremor violently shook the ground. Totem threw her arms up, instantly dropping into a defensive stance. The clone came flying out of the thick smoke, but she easily blocked the strike. Trading blows, she realized something terrifying. This thing was learning way too fast. She needed to end this right now. Meanwhile, a blinding flash of light smashed into the dirt where Lin Fong stood. His dragon-scaled arm got pushed back, but he just smirked. What is the matter? Done copying? Now you are just throwing a tantrum inside my flame dragon zone. The fake lunged, but Lin Fong instantly vanished, entering his half-dragon form. His weapon practically exploded with raw, burning fire. Time to show you the massive gap between the original and a cheap knockoff. He unleashed an epic slash, but the fake dodged it fast. Suddenly, an exact copy of his spear materialized in its hand. Lin Fong laughed. Fast on the copy and paste, huh? He charged forward, spinning his spear like a blazing drill. You want to steal my moves? Let me give you a full lesson. That fiery drill expanded, burning hotter and completely overwhelming the space as it launched forward. Sky-burning strike. Those two spears collided hard, exploding into an absolutely blinding flash. The insane impact shattered the entire battlefield. Bursting from the rubble, the clone swung hard, but Lin Fong easily ducked under the blade. Gripping his spear tight, he channeled crazy power for his next strike. Riding the momentum, he spun that spear, summoning a massive fire ring to block. But the fake just walked up, tapping the flames with its own weapon. Then it perfectly slipped right through the fire. Face totally dead and blank. The blade stabbed right into Lin Fong's chest. Blood spilled. But suddenly, his body started glowing, his expression darkened, and his eyes practically ignited. Now watch closely here. You might copy a move, but you can never fake the raw flame dragon power burning inside him. Like a total tank ignoring the pain, he grabbed the blade buried right in his own chest. The fake just stared, completely emotionless. Lin Fong let out an epic roar, "You brainless fool." Behind him, a massive golden whirlwind erupted, taking the exact shape of a dragon. He seriously looked like a god ready to absolutely destroy the wicked. Go to hell. Meanwhile, razor-sharp talismans sliced through the air like literal blades. Boom! A massive explosion rocked the area, smoke hiding everything. Halan, totally battered and bruised, secretly gripped a talisman behind her back. She stared into the smoke, exhausted, when 3 more talismans suddenly flew right at her. She whipped around, completely stunned. She frantically jumped back as they exploded. Through the smoke, her clone's dead, a motionless face appeared. Halan circled it, actually laughing. "And here I thought you were skilled. That is not how you use a Taoist charm." She kept dodging, then suddenly bit her own hand, drawing blood. Real Taoist charms need to channel the actual spiritual energy of nature. You might copy the look, but never the soul. Suddenly, glowing drops of rain materialized, hovering magically in the air around her. This wind, this rain, it is all part of the true Taoist heart. Halan raised her bleeding hand, tracing a brilliant line of golden light. Her expression went dead serious. The heart is the core. Power is just the tool. She yelled, "You have no soul. You do not respect the Tao." Meaning, you can never actually control the raw forces of nature. Copy a million charms. They are all just empty shells. Those glowing raindrops blasted straight toward the fake. The clone bit its hand, trying to copy her exact move. But instead of magic, disgusting tentacles violently twisted out of its wound. The fake looked terrified. You and I totally saw this coming, right? The fake gets impaled, and gross tentacles explode everywhere, in pure nightmare fuel. Cut over to a massive tree, where a heavily injured Lin Hai is slumped against the bark. Her fake stood right there, looking super cocky behind an impenetrable shield. "Little sister, just stop fighting it. I might be a clone, but you still cannot win." Lin Hai, absolutely covered in cuts, gripped her staff tight. "I am not struggling," she thought. "I am just waiting for you to mess up." She looked down at her battered legs, her brain working on overdrive. 10 minutes, that is all it took for you to copy my voice, my looks, and go straight on the offensive. Now you are literally setting custom traps just for me. Your level up speed is completely insane, but if you operate like a classic dungeon boss, there is 100% a weakness here. The fake fired off an insane barrage, forcing Lin Hai to dodge wildly. The clone just laughed. "See? Still running away." It unleashed a brutal wave of ice shards, taunting her. "Oh, sweet sister, just give up and let us merge into one." But she spots something: those ice shards are missing bone patterns. And that is where we leave it. Trust me, you need part 2. All right, stick with me here. The clone arrogantly leaned on her staff. Lin Hai just scoffed, suspicious from the very start. She asked, "What kind of skill perfectly steals decades of power?" Turns out, you only copied the shiny shell, but totally failed to replicate her precise, god-tier control over the elements. Blood dripping from her wounds, the fake looked totally confused. "What do you mean?" Lin Hai slammed her hand against a tree, sending glowing veins of pure power straight through it. Behind that tree, a brilliant green flame instantly erupted. Take the ice element for example. A complete novice only summons a basic ice orb, while a true master condenses it into deadly needles. But when you use ice magic, you don't even form the most basic runic structures. It just proves how painfully crude your understanding of the elements truly is. She gripped her staff tight, slamming it into the earth as light flared from the glowing cracks. That is something you absolutely cannot learn. It is not just a minor detail. From those glowing cracks, deadly ice spikes shot straight toward the clone's face. Lin Hai shouted, "The real power of an all-element mage is making those elements work together perfectly." The fake's brows furrowed, her jaw dropping in absolute shock. Suddenly, countless magic circles of every type materialized right in front of her. A weak voice echoed, "Magic is never about cookie-cutter skills. It is all about deep elemental understanding. Given enough time, you could probably replicate every single one of these spells too." Suddenly, a blinding flash of epic light erupted. "But why on earth should I give you time? Now watch this closely." The fake Lin Hai was instantly vaporized by that light. Meanwhile, Chu Yi was facing his own deadly doppelganger, Holy Storm. Their heavy swords clashed head-on, triggering an absolutely massive explosion. Two blinding flashes of energy cut right through the thick smoke. Chu Yi thought in pure surprise. He launched Holy Light Cross just 0.5 seconds after his last skill, with a power deviation under 0.1 degrees. The clone's simulation accuracy was constantly upgrading. Facing his opponent, he noticed something crazy. His movements were far less robotic now. Even crazier, he felt the clone actively analyzing his combat weaknesses mid-fight. Realizing this, Chu Yi gripped his blade tight and charged forward. A sparring partner improving this fast? That was an opportunity he simply could not pass up. The two clashed relentlessly in mid-air, raw power completely equal, neither giving a single inch. But this time, the clone simulation was half a second slower. Why? The lag spiked heavily whenever it copied his elemental skills. Does your fake database overload when trying to merge completely different combat data? Chu Yi gritted his teeth, glaring coldly at the exact copy of his own face. The fake sheathed his sword, landing smoothly. The real Chu Yi spoke with absolute ice. "Your dead silence just proves you are nothing but a machine," he stated coldly. "What do you actually want from me?" The fake Chu Yi rubbed his chin, staring back with a totally blank expression. Then, a twisted, wicked grin spread across his face. "I just want to see how far a replicated body can truly go." Facing that overwhelming aura, the clone confidently smirked. "I know absolutely everything about you. You cannot kill me." Chu Yi just sneered back with heavy contempt. "Is that right? Back where I am from, we have a saying." He held his hand out, golden energy threads swirling intensely. Chu Yi kept talking. "You and I both know big talkers always bite their own tongues." Suddenly, a huge hole blew through the clone's stomach, cracking its entire body. "You knew all along," Chu Yi explained calmly. "From the exact second we started brawling, this mirror has been tracking my moves, and every single one of your lag spikes happened right after that mirror flashed. Basically, everything you have learned came from this stupid mirror just observing me. You tried so hard to hide it, using heavy attacks to distract me and keep it a secret." He reminded him coldly, "But never forget, you were copied right from me. I know everything about you." Lin Hai looked over, totally stunned. As Chu Yi emerged from the thick dust, Lin Hai sprinted over to him. "You are finally out." She was frantic, pushing him forward. "Hurry up, you really have to save Ran." Chu Yi immediately asked, "What on earth happened to little Ran?" At that exact second, Ran was battling the literal demon inside herself. Her dark double just smiled, mocking her as she tried to hold the power back. The demon relentlessly provoked Ran. "You do not even dare accept your true bloodline. So incredibly pathetic. And they dare call you a prodigy." Ran gritted her teeth, thinking, "I can literally feel the succubus consciousness inside me, throbbing relentlessly, like countless greedy hands desperately trying to claw their way out of my body." But another voice echoed deep in her head. "Just let me help you," Ran told herself. "I absolutely cannot lose my control again." But that mysterious voice just pushed harder. "You will never dodge her next attack like this." Ran struggled hard to suppress the dark urges. At the very least, she had to stay totally clear-headed to finish this crucial mission with Chu Yi. But the voice just kept whispering, "Get up. Chu Yi will be so incredibly disappointed seeing you defeated like this." It whispered, constantly tempting her breaking mind. "I am your real power. Trust me, you and I are not ready for what comes next." She screamed, "Get out of my head. Stick with me here." This battle gets absolutely wild. The demon charges forward, sword drawn, sneering. "Too scared to unleash your real bloodline? Let us see you try and stop me." She swings a lethal strike, but Chu Ran barely dodges it. Missing doesn't stop her. The demon presses the attack relentlessly, Can you not see the massive power gap between us? Smirking, she exposes Chu Ran's hidden fears. You worry too much. Terrified of losing control. Terrified of what Chu Yi will think of you. But me? I fear absolutely nothing. Another heavy sword strike flies out. Chu Ran leaps backward, continuing to desperately evade. No matter how skilled your swordsmanship or magic is, refusing to use your bloodline makes you exactly like any other ordinary professional. The demon relentlessly pushes Chu Ran right to her absolute breaking point. Oh, right. In your memories, your precious Chu Yi claimed that kindness is never a weakness. She asks a brutal question, but your kindness is getting crushed when I grind you to dust. Will he even remember a weakling? Chu Ran mutters in denial. I am not. I cannot be. That eerie inner voice echoes again. See what happens when you suppress me? Let me out. She is just a mindless, pathetic clone. Does she honestly think a little bit of demonic power lets her run wild? I can tear her apart, and I can protect him too. Ling Shi says anxiously to Chu Yi. Once we kill our clones, we reset to the starting point. Now pay attention. This is crucial. These mirrors show everyone fighting their clones. Chu Ran is clearly stronger. So why is her clone completely dominating her? Xiaolan explains, the clone grows stronger over time, even developing its own consciousness. Big sis Chu Ran is in serious danger right now. Ling Fang is totally lost. He cannot hear them, but the situation looks incredibly dire. Why hold back her bloodline power? Chu Yi stays silent, knowing the heartbreaking reason perfectly. Chu Ran is battling herself. She is not getting overpowered because she is weak. Losing control so many times has left her terrified of her bloodline. The clone holds one single, massive advantage. 0 inhibitions. It can unleash absolute full power without any fear or mental burden. Ling Fang furiously slams his fist against the mirror in front of him. Let her out to fight for real. Why hold back against a fake? Tai Xin grows incredibly anxious. Brother Yi, what do we do? Just smash it? Chu Yi stays silent, realizing the mirror world could invade her consciousness. Forcibly breaking, it might severely injure her. You know exactly what he is thinking, right? He steps forward. Conventional ways will not save her. I must force it. Chu Yi warns everyone, get back as far as you can. Instantly, he triggers his transformation, raises his hand, and violently shatters the mirror ahead. Everyone stares in pure shock. Brother Yi is forcibly destroying the clone's core energy node. He is breaking the actual instance itself to save big sis Chu Ran. Meanwhile, the demon pins her straight to the ground, sneering. Look how pathetic you are. Chu Ran coughs weakly, her eyes darting in pure terror. Something flashes brightly right in front of her. That blinding light shoots straight towards them. Instantly, the demon vanishes into thin air. Chu Ran squints, wearily pushing herself up. Chu Yi steps through the mirror, smiling as he reaches out. Do not be afraid. I am here now. Hearing his voice, Chu Ran bites her lip, looking completely heartbroken. Suddenly, the surrounding space shifts, cracking apart violently. Chu Ran's eyes widen in sheer terror. Gripping her sword, she forcefully shatters the invisible wall, imprisoning her. But the second she breaks free, Chu Ran swings her sword and attacks Chu Yi. He simply cannot believe what is happening right now. He silently calls out her name. To completely avoid hurting her, Chu Yi can only raise a single fist to block her incoming attack. But even with that single blow, Chu Ran is easily sent flying backward. The others can only stare, their jaws dropping in pure disbelief. Chu Ran slams into the ground, shattering the earth on impact. Chu Yi thinks grimly. The holy light is burning her. Why? Her constitution should not fear holy energy. Chu Ran once again charges forward, sword drawn. Chu Yi uses holy light to counter, but quickly retracts it, realizing that both his lightning and holy energy are actively harming her. He immediately raises his hand, unleashing a thick stream of green smoke. The smoke forms tendrils, tightly binding Chu Ran's hands, then wraps around her legs too. In a flash, her entire body is safely restrained. It is the only way he can hold her down, without causing any serious damage. Chu Yi steps closer. Look at me. The walls dissolve. Trust me, you and I need to see what happens next. Stick with me. Chu Yi's entire squad was completely stunned. Wall fragments slowly merged into a totally unknown face. Then an angry voice roared, hijacking the dungeon rules. Ultimate elimination sequence activated. That creepy face? A level 20 silver thread spider? Epic tier potential. Packing skills like Silver Spit and Shadow Clone Annihilation Spike. Then a level 30 Rockfire Soldier. Gold tier. Wielding Magma Crash, Harden, and War Stomp. Next, a level 34 Bone Vine Puppet. Gold tier with Spike, Ambush, and Entanglement skills. plus a level 23 epic bone warrior, ready to spam shattering cleave and will siphon. Finally, a level 33 water monster, gold tier acid spit. Ling Shi didn't hesitate, jumping in and effortlessly slicing monsters apart. But get this, the chopped up monsters instantly started stitching their own bodies back together. Ling Shi yelled they were fusing. The silver threads were forcing them whole again. He whipped out a talisman, chanting the Bing Ding fire command to dispel evil and shatter illusions. Spirit bursting talisman activate. Boom. Fire instantly swallowed the monsters. Taishin charged right in. She swung her massive axe, smashing it straight into a skull. Then she launched the axe like a missile, tearing right through the horde and clearing a massive path. Now, pay attention here. Linggong crushed a monster, while Chu Yi realized one entity controlled every thread. He stared at Xiaowen. The dungeon's whole logic is survival of the absolute strongest. Just like before, anyone who fails gets hijacked by these silver threads, turning into mindless stage monsters. Even though Chu Yi forcibly shattered the second gate's main energy node to pieces, Xiaowen still couldn't fully break free from her own brutal mental trial. Countless silver threads swarmed her body. Her charm demon bloodline was completely unstable, giving the dungeon a perfect opening to strike. That's how the threads hijacked her mind. And the mastermind behind this? They see Chu Yi as the ultimate threat, so they're throwing literally every monster at him, treating Chu Yi like the real final boss. Chu Yi flared his aura, dead set on dragging out the mastermind pulling these strings. Mind controllers always hide in the shadows and rarely show their real faces. But to save Xiaowen for good, I know what you're thinking. He apologized to Xiaowen. Time to force the boss out. He warned her this might hurt a bit. Suddenly, a massive wall slammed down from the sky, followed by another one crashing right next to it. The walls slammed shut, forming an absolute prison around Xiaowen. Chu Yi just stood outside, staring at the box ice cold. He turned to Hilan, ordering her to use a chill-locking talisman to seal Xiaowen's energy. Hilan shouted she was on it. She whipped out 3 talismans instantly, executing Chu Yi's order, chanting that heaven and earth have their absolute boundaries. Chi flows within limits, ward off outside evil and seal the inner chaos. The talismans blasted out, completely surrounding Xiaowen in 3 directions. Boundary setting command activated. Total movement prohibited, slashing through the endless horde. Ling Shi screamed that there were just too many. They couldn't hold the line much longer at this rate. Linggong was really feeling the heat too. The monster numbers were just multiplying like crazy. He realized these freaks were eating each other to evolve. Chu Yi knew killing them all was impossible. The dungeon unleashed its entire arsenal. A head-on fight was suicide. The squad would burn through their energy in under 30 minutes. Plus, he'd be totally distracted trying to keep them alive. Decision made. Chu Yi closed his eyes, drawing a massive torrent of raw power into his core. No more holding back. To crush this once and for all, he had to drop his absolute strongest, most devastating attack. Chu Yi barked a warning. Everyone fall back now. Put up your absolute best defenses and do not look away no matter what. Ling Feng, Ling Shi, Xiaowen, and Taishin all screamed back in unison. They got it. Ling Feng told him to just focus on dropping the hammer. Instantly, a monstrous wave of pure energy swallowed Chu Yi completely whole. From inside her sealed box, Xiaowen watched his terrifying aura expand further and further. Crushed under this insane pressure, the entire monster horde totally froze. Then they actually started dissolving. Their flesh simply melted away, exposing those creepy silver threads underneath. Taishin screamed in absolute disbelief. What in the world were those things? They weren't vanishing. They were actively merging into one giant mass. Trust me, you're not ready for this. The dungeon was fusing them. Ling Shi's magic senses went crazy. The monster's energy swirls like a massive vortex around those silver threads. It's packing double the raw power of every beast we've seen combined. Chu Yi takes a deep breath. Stick with me, because this level 1 summon of the gods is about to blow your mind. Massive white wings burst open, completely blocking out the sky. An armored silver figure appears, drawing back a bow aimed right at the enemy. Countless silver-armored knights materialize behind Chu Yi. Linggong just points, his eyes absolutely wide with total shock. How can a kid like Chu Yi summon back up this insane? Taishin stammers out, is this the ultimate holy knight skill? Ling Zi can only watch in awe. That radiating energy is just terrifying. The chaotic dungeon space actually freezes for a split second. Pinned down by Chu Yi's overwhelming pressure, the massive monster lets out another furious roar. Chu Yi clenches his jaw hard. He knows this crazy angelic summon is only temporary. He's already burned 30% of his life force. Every single second this angel exists, his mental energy drains rapidly. Once this fight is over, He definitely needs to level up this divine summon. The energy cost is just way too brutal right now. Taking the risk, he screams out an order. Target and eliminate all monsters. Instantly, a massive volley of arrows fires off. Every single arrow locks onto one target, the giant monster. The beast throws up its hands to block, but it gets completely crushed under that godlike power. That blinding beam of light doesn't slow down at all. Ling Shi gasps. Now watch closely here, because a force this incredibly massive is literally tearing the dungeon's limits apart. Jian looks terrified. Brother Yi can't hold on much longer. Keeping a top-tier summon active takes a devastating toll on his mental energy. With the monster finally wiped out, Chu Yi lets out a huge sigh. He turns his gaze straight towards Suan. Leaving the trash to the angel is fine. He only has one real target left. Surging forward, he marches right up to her. Unleashing a terrifying wave of power, he gives a cold warning. I'll count to 3. Get out now. 1 second late, and I destroy this entire place. Suan just bites her lip, glaring back as Chu Yi starts counting down. 1, 2, right before the final number, a gigantic dark shadow looms up behind Suan. Chu Yi braces himself. He knew it, the dungeon boss. So you finally decided to drag yourself out of hiding. Huh? Seeing those sick black stains all over the boss's body, Chu Yi realizes the truth. It's completely corrupted by shadow creatures. A corrupted heart eater. Level 50. Legendary tier. Skills completely unknown. Chu Yi locks eyes with the terrifying monster. The heart eater studies Chu Yi up and down. Well, this is definitely interesting. Out of everyone who has foolishly barged in here over the years, you're the absolute youngest powerhouse. Yet, somehow, your aura hits way harder than those old veterans. The heart eater is controlling Suran like a puppet, using countless silver threads. Chu Yi grits his teeth hard, blocking his vision with one hand. The heart eater leans in close, with a creepy grin. Don't be so tense. I didn't come to fight. It looks back before dropping the real hook. I know what you're thinking, but wait, it wants to make a deal. Hearing this, Chu Yi's eyes snap wide open. He stares in absolute disbelief as a massive pile of insane loot just spawns instantly. The crystal of purification, packed with holy energy. This thing wipes out any curse-type status effect immediately. The mind-calming jade. It stops bloodline powers from going berserk and perfectly stabilizes broken constitutions. Then there's the crimson dragon crystal. Pure berserk fire energy that you can smash straight into a weapon. It boosts attacks with 50% bonus fire damage. Plus the mystic iron star core, a heavy metal ore humming with spatial waves. You can use it to craft teleport gear, and it slashes skill cooldowns by 15%. The spirit-nourishing jade holds the literal breath of life. Slap it into armor, and it auto-regenerates your health. If you're a healer class, that healing effect doubles. A massive shield wall scroll that summons a huge energy barrier. We're talking a 10-meter radius of pure protection for 10 full seconds, and a no-weakness scroll. For 1 whole hour, you see every enemy's weak spot. Ling Zi is literally losing his mind. If we socket that dragon crystal onto the boss's gauntlet, that would be absolutely legendary. Who cares about the rest of them? One punch could literally blast these monsters to dust. He is hyped seeing all this god-tier loot. Healing types, crazy defensive gear, everything. What an insane bribe. Chu Yi glares coldly, realizing that purification crystal could finally cure the Chu family's eternal curse. He is definitely tempted. But that serene night liquid standing there, that was made specifically for Sun Yan. The heart eater wraps an arm around Chu Yi, whispering poison. Just look at how much pain she is in. 1 single drop of that liquid lets her sleep safely for days. No more stressing about her bloodline randomly exploding and killing her. The monster grins. This is just the appetizer. So what do you and I think he'll do next? You cleared the dungeon's trial, the voice declares. Here is your epic reward. Take it and get out. Now, trust me. You and I know a trap when we see one. Chu Yi instantly sees the bait. Sure, he could walk away loaded right now, but then he remembers his squad. The brutal life or death battles. The ticking clock on their mission to expose the corrupt Mammoth Merchant Guild's dark secrets. Staring down the giant heart, Chu Yi smirks. Tempting loot, not gonna lie. But you clearly misunderstood one crucial detail. He tightly grips his blade and slashes the monstrous creature. I didn't hike into Blackwind Valley just for some shiny handout. Pushing the brutal assault, he roars. The system quest. Avenging my friends, breaking my family's curse. None of that gets solved by taking your pathetic bribe. Shocked, the heart eater screams out. You're seriously throwing away an absolute fortune that is right in front of you? Chu Yi holds his ground. You literally know everything about me, even my family curse. Obviously, this is a trap built just for me. Suddenly, insane energy erupts, transforming Chu Yi's entire body as he whispers, "Star of Purification, Serene Heart Knight, I'm taking it all." His eyes lock on the monster. "And you? You're completely dead." Triggering Dragon God's dominion, he explodes forward in a blur, cleanly slicing the massive Heart Eater right down the middle. But wait, the ground abruptly crumbles beneath him. The torn monster spreads its arms, sinking straight into the earth itself. You're going to want to watch this next part closely. A massive rock golem erupts from the dirt. Without warning, the beast shatters the entire battlefield with its giant fists. In a split second, total chaos swallows the entire zone. Chu Yi leaps to safety, barely dodging the deadly abyss. But glancing over, his heart drops. Suo Ran wasn't quite as lucky. Caught completely off guard, she plummets down, screaming in pure panic. Chu Yi, hearing her terrified scream, he totally loses it. Suo Ran, diving straight into the pit. He reaches for her hand, but his fingers just grab empty air. It hits him instantly. "You're trying to mess with my head using a cheap illusion." Absolutely furious, Chu Yi lands a devastating direct blow on the beast. But getting exposed? The monster doesn't panic, even a little bit. Instead, it just laughs at him. "Is that really your best?" Chu Yi's eyes go dark. His voice, dangerously low, "Why don't you test me and find out?" The monster readies another brutal attack, blinding white lightning cracking in its glowing eyes. "I was going to reward you. I was going to let you live. But you had to be stubborn." Different faces rapidly flash through its mind. "Sequence deletion is completely finished. I finished adapting. Now try fighting my ultimate form." With a single swipe of its hand, all those illusions shatter into glass. But then, the beast spots a huge problem. What? Chu Yi is right there, with his real squad standing right behind him. "Whoever said I was fighting solo?" As he drops the line, a terrifying, massive blue dragon materializes right behind his back. The allied soldiers unleash a deadly rain of arrows, while Bone Fang recklessly charges forward to launch a brutal combo attack. Everyone targets the shadowy beast at once, burying it under a heavy cloud of dust and thick smoke. In seconds, its form starts melting away. No! A gigantic explosion violently rocks the cavern, shattering every rock in sight. I know what we're all thinking here, game over, right? But suddenly, through the thick dust, glowing glass shards just magically appear in the air. These weird mirror pieces aren't fading. Peering into one of the shards, Chu Yi actually spots a reflection, a desperate man kneeling on the dirt. The guy looks crazy familiar. Wait, is that? As Chu Yi reaches out to touch it, blinding golden energy completely swallows him whole. Time literally rewinds. 10 years ago, right here in Black Wind Valley, that same man is begging before an overwhelming dark entity. Creepy black tentacles coil around him, as a chilling voice echoes from the shadows. "You wish to save your dying daughter?" Absolutely terrified, he still forces an answer. "The top priest in Tianlan claims without the 1,000-year mystic ice jade, she won't survive till spring. I heard wild rumors about you in the black market, so I risked everything for your blessing." The demon smiles. "Blessing? Oh, I really like the sound of that word. I will grant you enough riches to buy every single healing herb in this entire city. But first, complete 3 tasks." Clenching his shaking fists, the man chokes out. "What? What are the tasks?" Suddenly, countless glowing jewels rain from the ceiling, alongside the monster's twisted demand. "Use this fortune to lure as many fools as possible into Black Wind Valley. The souls of the weak will become my personal food, and the strong, they'll become my mind-controlled gatekeepers." The man's eyes totally widen in horror. You want to slaughter them all?" The demon just bursts into maniacal laughter, pushing its razor-sharp teeth right into the guy's face. Let's pause and let that sink in together. Don't be tense. They come willingly. After all, who could possibly resist getting filthy rich overnight, left with 0 other options? Let's dive right in. He came back, bragging about finding mystic essence stones in Black Wind Valley. Just 1 piece, worth a massive 1,000 mid-grade spirit stones? His friend was super skeptical, obviously. Wait, isn't that the exact death zone where everyone vanishes without a single trace? Just last year, Old Wang V took an entire squad inside. Result? Not even their bones made it out. He instantly spun a lie. "That's just because they took the wrong path. I actually found the main vein, but I'm seriously lacking manpower. Team up with me. I will hand you guys a solid 30% cut of all the mined ore." Easy money. Thanks to his lies, the monster's body count absolutely skyrocketed. The sheer bloody horror of it all made him violently sick to his stomach. Heavy tears streamed down his face. He called it a sin. But honestly, Their own blind greed walked them straight into the trap. The beast? It felt zero guilt. Why do you think they enter Black Wind Valley? Out of the goodness of their hearts? Please, they just want to strike it rich, stepping over dead bodies. And he didn't quit. He kept luring fresh meat right into the slaughter. Elder Fun, we can negotiate the price. Just help me spread the word. But soon enough, absolute chaos broke loose right at his own doorstep. Boss, we have a huge problem. The North City Guild is demanding 80% of our profits, or they shut down our entire operation. We have zero backing. Those brutal thugs could easily just wipe us all out. Watch closely, this changes everything. Hearing this made him completely snap. He turned absolutely ruthless, totally ignoring the desperate, begging cries of everyone else. Boss Liu, I was so stupid, totally blind. Please spare my life. From now on, the North City Guild answers only to you. I was so wrong, Boss Liu. I will do literally anything. He just stood there, cold, soaking in the terrified screams, begging for mercy. Every ounce of his guilt vanished. Standing before the massive monster, his fear was completely wiped out. He was now Lord Lu Xuan. His new plan was dangerously sharp. I am going to build a massive merchant guild. On the surface, a totally legal business. Just mining and selling high-grade ore, but in the shadows, it is the perfect trap to handpick victims for the valley. Naturally, the beast loved the sound of that. Fine. What do we call it? He smirked. The name he chose? The Enchanting Siren. Even the monster was curious about that specific name. Luan didn't miss a beat. I once sailed out to sea and ran straight into sirens. They looked like pure goddesses. Their singing voices? Absolutely beautiful. But their spell made men dive to their deaths, crashing ships right into the jagged reefs. I only survived by holding tight to the broken deck. Hearing this dark origin story, the monster casually spit out what totally looked like a human bone. Fitting name. Time skip ahead, and his bloody business is absolutely booming. Boss, here is this month's ore production list. We gathered enough Hansu crystals to cover the Zhou family tribute, plus 17 nutrient-rich human bodies dumped right into the valley. Luan took the list, looking incredibly smug. Interesting. He checked every single detail. These nutrients are a bit low quality. Next time, tell Madame Hong to be way more strict with her selections. Stop sending us useless trash. His assistant bowed with extreme respect. Yes, sir. But Luan had one more nasty trick up his sleeve. Also, bump this year's prices up by 2%. Meanwhile, this entire twisted history is exactly what Chu Yi was watching unfold. You and I can see why he's creeped out. These weird fragments somehow recorded 10 whole years of bloody karma perfectly. More glass-like shards rained down, swirling together like a crazy vortex right in Chu Yi's palm. Boom. A glowing purple stone materializes. That blue dragon from earlier instantly pops back up. That right there? The dungeon core. Holding that stone means you basically own this entire dungeon. Even mid-tier guilds wish they had their own private dungeon. Now, it's yours. The perks you get from this are absolutely insane. Holding the Mirror Prison Core grants 30% control over the whole zone. You literally rewrite the basic rules of this space. Frostfang dropped some epic news. From this moment on, your resource grinding days are totally over. A personal dungeon is a literal gold mine, an endless money printer. You really hit the jackpot, kid. Now, push your spiritual energy into it. Feel that raw connection locking you to the dungeon. Chu Yi locked in. Pure energy started surging directly into his veins. Glowing rings of intense power wrapped around him. An absolutely beautiful, blinding sight. Right nearby, Lingxi was gently holding up Chuan, completely swept up in the radiating shockwaves. Those energy rings just kept getting bigger, exploding outward. Chu Yi pushed his focus to the absolute limit. It was unreal. I can see every single tree and blade of grass without opening my eyes. It feels like I control every atom in here. But as his aura surged, a small figure appeared nearby. Chu Yi squeezed his eyes shut, lost deep in thought. But suddenly, Chu Yun is right there. Trust me, we aren't ready for what comes next. Stick with me here. Chu Yun turns, acting totally innocent. Brother, I was so worried, so I just followed an online guide to find you. Chu Yi is furious but totally helpless. You did what? Seeing his dark look, she quickly apologizes. My bad. Suya jumps in, clearly enjoying the drama. This little lady has serious guts, and honestly, crazy good luck too. Since you literally control this entire dungeon now, she is totally safe hanging around here with us. Honestly, he has no other choice but to warn her. Behave yourself, or I am sending you straight back home. Right as he says that, boom, a system alert pops up. Quest complete. Uncover the M Guild secrets with your squad. The reward? Every single team member gets one S-rank skill book. Status, completed. Distributing rewards now. Chu Yi's friends finally spot Chu Yin and completely freak out. Why are you here? Shen Lingfang immediately starts scolding her. This zone is lethal. What were you thinking? This is not a kid's playground. Before he can even finish, Chu Yi tosses him a system alert while literally handing his sister over to him. Shen Lingfang, guard my sister. He catches the alert easily, agreeing like a boss, without even a second thought. Watch this next part closely. Do you even need to ask? But wait, what is this new item? Rage of the Bloodthirsty. Level 1, S rank. It rips blood beads straight from the enemy's life force. Those beads fuse into a massive soul blood orb, toss it at an enemy, and boom, a violently massive, bloody explosion. Shen Lingfang stares at the screen, basically losing his absolute mind. A real S-rank skill book? Over in the distance, Holland hears this and freezes. What? Chu Yi casually hands her one too. These are for everyone. Holland just stares at it, completely unable to trust her own eyes. An actual S-rank? Ling Ji is just as stunned. Why would you give us something this insanely rare? Helen is wondering the exact same thing right now. Brother Yi, do you even realize how much this thing is actually worth? Just one sells for 7 million on the black market, and people literally kill for them. But Chu Yi acts like it is absolutely nothing at all. It is a hidden dungeon, clear reward, split by class. Shen Lingfang stares completely blankly. And you are really just handing them over? My entire elite Shen family only has 3 S-rank skill books in total. Holland feels super guilty taking it. This is way too precious. We basically just tagged along and did minor mob cleanup. How can we accept this? But the item in her hands is undeniably overpowered. 3 Absolutes Formation. Level 1. S rank. It summons a massive formation, throwing all trapped enemies into a cursed state, slashing their max health right in half. Chu Yi warmly insists she takes it. We cleared this together. I cannot take all the credit. Ling Shi still feels completely unworthy. But this is insanely valuable. Let's be real. He could sell this for millions. Her new book, Elemental Forbidden Realm. Level 1, S rank. It spawns a massive zone blocking all elemental energy. Huge crystals crash down, triggering a massive secondary blast. Chu Yi just smiles warmly and gently ruffles her hair. Is cash really more important than your own life? The battles ahead will only get crazier. I will not have my squad risking their necks with 0 high-tier defenses. Shen Lingfang, meanwhile, is absolutely hyped. This is epic. Next time, I do not care who we are fighting. I am charging in first. Chu Yi just coughs dryly, staying silent. Taishan clutches her book, totally ecstatic. My very first S-rank skill. From now on, I will be the vanguard clearing these dungeons. Helen is hyped. I will fully master this 3 absolutes formation. I absolutely won't slow you down. Ling Shi obviously feels the exact same way. Me too. Shen Lingfang immediately starts bragging to Taishan. Check this out. It drains their life force and creates a massive explosion. Insanely cool, right? Taishan instantly fires right back at him. Well, mine literally vaporizes low-tier mobs. Yours needs to collect blood first? Trash. Her new skill is Earth-Shattering Wave. Level 1. S rank. It absolutely slams the earth, unleashing a terrifying shockwave. Enemies take massive ongoing damage, and weaker targets get instantly vaporized. Hearing them argue like kids, Chu Yi finally interrupts. All right, enough messing around. First, get a solid grip on those new skills. You and I know the real boss is waiting deep inside. Shen Lingfang just smirks. Watch me, 10 minutes flat, and I'm a master. Taishan instantly shoots back. You are so full of it. Stick with me here. He only needs 5 minutes to prep. Helen chimes in right beside him. Time for us to gear up too. They absolutely cannot get shown up. Suddenly, a hand grabs Chu Yi's shirt. It's Su Yan, flashing a massive, joyful smile, just showering him with total praise. She tells him he always knows exactly how to unite the team. Hearing that, Chu Yi just lets out a humble, modest laugh. It's just 'cause they're teammates, right? But wait, he almost forgot something. He pulls out an item, the legendary Serenity Elixir, gentle yet fierce. It suppresses raw bloodline power and stabilizes unusual constitutions. He specifically wanted to give this to Sunan. He tells her the bloodline issue can't be completely fixed yet, so take this just in case. But he doesn't stop there. He looks Sunan dead in the eyes, voice completely rock solid. Little Nan, I will do absolutely everything in my power to keep you completely safe. Hearing that, Sunny is completely overwhelmed. Tears just start streaming down her face, totally out of control. Chu Yi instantly panics. He's like, wait, Why are you crying again? Did I say something stupid? Sunny Yen's eyes are super red now. She leans right against his chest and whispers softly, no, absolutely nothing is wrong. I believe you, Chu Yi. Meanwhile, cut over to the Merchant Guild headquarters. A massive crowd of researchers is crammed onto the top floor. Right in the center, this gigantic stone, just radiating some seriously bizarre, twisted energy. The energy suddenly lashes right out at the researchers. But honestly, they look completely clueless to the massive danger they're in. Crazy enough, they actually keep creeping closer to the source. One guy looks back at his leader, sounding panicked, "Boss, you seeing this?" But the boss, he just replies with absolute, chilling composure. The Crystal Core Dungeon and Blackwind Valley have been linked for 10 whole years without a single glitch. This guy? It's Luan, the same boss Chu Yi met earlier. With that heavy hitter guarding the valley, it's an absolute fortress. Anyone who barges in there is basically just serving themselves up as pure nutrients. Pay attention here. This chaotic energy just spiked. Could something totally unexpected have gone down inside? Suddenly, his eyes snap wide open, absolutely terrified. It's like he just witnessed pure nightmare fuel. Boom. A researcher gets blasted straight into the wall, thrashing in pure agony. The energy wave knocks everyone else down, turning the whole room into total chaos. One guy on the floor just screams out, "We are completely screwed." Luan instantly realizes this is about to get incredibly ugly. He snaps an order to his guy, "Send a message to Madame Hong. Right now, tell her to get down to Blackwind Valley and figure out what the hell is causing this disaster." His subordinate doesn't dare argue back. "Yes, boss." Meanwhile, cut right to Madame Hong. She is an absolute wreck. Her clothes are completely shredded. Her hair is a total mess. Gripping her wound, she winces in pure agony, cursing that damned holy night. She admits it, if she hadn't been super paranoid and spent a fortune on a resurrection item way back, she'd be 100% dead. Here's the catch. That revival item only rebuilds the physical body. It definitely can't restore her back to peak condition. Right now, forget running her massive puppet arrays. She can barely even control 10 measly corpses. With her strength totally gutted, she plans to hide and recover at base for 6 solid months. Nobody goes out, but the second she thinks that, boom, a message drops. The boss is ordering her to immediately investigate that wild energy in Blackwind Valley and report back right now. I know what you're thinking. This hits her like pure lightning. Head to Blackwind Valley right now? With her body completely wrecked like this, that mission is basically impossible. Weird energy in the Blackwind Valley? Her first thought, could Chu Yi be causing this? If she runs into that monster while she's this weak, it's an instant death sentence. But if the guild figures out she's severely injured, all those greedy rivals gunning for her spot will smell blood in the water instantly. They'll swarm right in and completely shred the empire she bled to build. She has sacrificed way too much to just lose her rank now. She refuses to let it all go down the drain. But at the same time, she definitely can't ignore Luan's direct order. Absolutely burning with rage, she forces herself to stand up and obey. Just like a leaf caught in the wind, her fate isn't hers to control anymore. Get the car ready. Meanwhile, back with Chu Yi. He's still intensely trying to absorb that raw power. These bizarre fragments of pure information keep flashing into his brain. Stuff about an iron prison that constantly guards some dark creature. The secrets of this dark beast have to be locked inside these memory shards. If he uncovers it, he finds the enemy's ultimate, fatal weakness. But one specific glowing fragment really grabs his attention. Driven by pure curiosity, Chu Yi slowly reaches out his hand to touch it. Boom! The exact second his fingers make contact, it feels like getting dragged straight into a demonic abyss, grabbed by thousands of ghostly hands. An epic reflection of Chu Yi starts materializing right inside those crystal shards. The whole scene around him completely blurs out into this massive swirl. The darkness totally closes in. Chu Yi's eyes are squeezed tight, his body dripping sweat, while this creepy, faint skeletal aura actually materializes all around him. A brilliant orb glows at his core, a dragon shadow staring intently. Trust me, you and I aren't ready for what's next. Stick with me. Chu Yi's eyes snap open, anxiously biting his lip. The intel is pure chaos, and something's completely blocking him. His dagger-sharp eyes instantly start glowing with this crazy jade green light. He focuses everything he has, hunting for a clear signal inside this mental storm, totally straining to listen and see through it. Then a horrifying vision. A guy lying there, tentacles wrapping his whole body, with one brutally shoving its way into his mouth. Deep inside these shattered memory fragments of the dark sacrifice, one massive chunk shows this insane black hole gate. It's violently sucking massive boulders right out of the ground into a dark passageway. Another fragment drops, fanged monsters roaring from their dark domain. Suddenly, the memory bursts open, sending a flood of chaotic fragments straight at him. Blinding light blasts forward, completely forcing Chu Yi to throw his hand up to shield his face. He violently jolts awake, eyes wide, desperately gasping for air like he just survived an absolute nightmare. Cold sweat dripping down. He tightens his grip on the stone, lost in heavy thought. Seeing his state, Shuang Ya worriedly asks, "What did you see? Why so pale?" Still dazed, Chu Yi slowly mutters, "The passage. I understand it now. That explains why Han Suar's demonic energy felt so familiar." Shuang Ya, looking confused, presses him. "What do you mean?" He breaks it down. "Months ago, I fought the demons and snuck into a medium rift back in the Raging Wind Mountains. The aura here? Exactly the same." Shuang Ya finally understands. "Wait. So you saw actual demons inside this prison core mirror? Now, watch this part closely." A nightmare flashes. A massive fanged mouth with tentacles, smiling wickedly at Earth. "Yeah, and it's way worse than I thought." Digging into the mirror's memories, I realized this dark entity isn't just a monster. It's an actual otherworldly gate, still in its early growth stage, transferring otherworld resources to our Blue Star. The Merchant Guild literally volunteered living humans to it, sickishly calling them a supply of life. In reality, the sacrifices fuel the true passage. Now, terrifying monsters just wait for their prey. Once it eats enough life energy, a massive, fully open gate will form, dropping an endless deep. Zhuangya lowers her head, then asks, "Are you scared?" Chu Yi's eyes stay locked on the gem. "Not scared. Cautious." Rushing in solves zero problems. The Tam and the others just survived a seriously brutal fight. They haven't even mastered their brand new powers yet, and nobody is in peak fighting condition. His expression goes dead serious, tightly clenching his fist. Charging in totally blind isn't brave, it's just stupid. It's not like the enemy is invincible. We simply need more time to get way stronger than our current levels. Zhuang Ya totally agrees, but stays curious. Caution is definitely rule 1 for a hunter's survival. So, how exactly will they adapt? You definitely can't level up just by sitting around. Chu Yi slowly raises the gem to eye level. A dangerous spark hits his eyes, and a knowing smirk appears. "I know what you and I are thinking. Sit still? No way. Isn't this whole prison mirror the ultimate perfect training ground?" Images flash through his head. "I can manipulate it. Maybe even spawn a few simulated opponents. This lets the whole team safely test the raw power and mechanics of their shiny new S-rank skills without dying." He even considers some insane options. We could even run intense stress tests to push their actual limits. Hearing his crazy plan, Shuangya just laughs out loud. "Interesting." Chu Yi walks over, loudly announcing this to his squad. "Change of plans. We're not going deeper." Lin Fong turns around, totally confused. "Wait, why not?" Chu Yi gets real. "Whatever is inside is way stronger than anything we've fought. I won't let anyone get hurt or killed, simply because we weren't fully prepared." He quickly lays out his epic battle plan. "Before our final move, you're all undergoing some hardcore special training." The Tam just puts his hands behind his head, totally bewildered. "Special training? What kind of actual training can we even do in this totally godforsaken wasteland?" But totally opposite to that, Lin Fong gets super pumped. His eyes light up, excitedly clenching his fists. "Special training? What kind of training?" An epic imaginary scene pops up, a dead serious Chu Yi literally controlling an attack puppet. "I'll hack the dungeon's energy. I'll spawn completely simulated enemies matching your exact power level, or maybe even one full tier stronger. There is exactly one goal here. In brutal fights that feel 100% real, you're going to squeeze out every ounce of potential to absolutely master your brand new powers." The more he listens, the more hyped Lin Fong gets, grinning and jumping. "Simulated battles? Epic. I'll go first, and honestly, you and I are so ready for this. Stick with me here." Lin Hai raises her hand, worriedly trying to stop Shen Lin Fong. His wounds barely healed, but Lin Fong, he just waves her off. "A total battle junkie, looking forward to training. It's just a scratch. I'm completely ready to go." Chu Yi gets dead serious. "Shen Lin Fong, this isn't a game. The pain and pressure in this simulation? 100% real. I'll adjust the difficulty as we go. Honestly, you're probably going to die a lot." Is Linong scared? Not even close. He smirks, totally fired up. "I couldn't ask for more." Hearing that, Chu Yi finally lets out a sigh of relief. A confident smile hits his face. His team isn't backing down, they're pumped. He was practically buzzing to start this master plan. Boom. He activates his power. The golden orb floats up, swirling with pure energy. Right before their eyes, blinding light completely swallows Lin Feng's entire body. He just stands there taking it. His expression? Cold as ice. Now watch this. Purple smoke clears, dropping Lin Feng in a cave. Suddenly, a bandaged swordsman charges from behind at absolute godlike speed. With killer instincts, Lin Feng instantly spins right around. A system screen pops up. Simulation. Shadow Hunter. Level 35. Gold tier talent skills. Shadow Step. Severing critical strike. Lin Feng transforms. His hair flares up like literal flames, his ears morphing into pointed elf-like shapes. Massive horns sprout from his head. In this epic demi-human form, Lin Feng summons a condensed ball of pure fire. He blasts a flaming punch straight at the assassin. Direct hit? Nope. The enemy vanishes into a puff of smoke, perfectly dodging. Absolute shock flashes across Lin Feng's eyes. No way. He instantly unleashes a wild barrage in every direction, but the enemy dodges every single strike. Lin Feng is spinning around like a top, finally realizing this opponent's true strength as he punches furiously. A shadow type. Damn it. Suddenly slash. A blade clips his neck, drawing fresh blood. Lin Feng is stunned by that insane speed. How is he so fast? He throws another powerful punch, but the bandaged man slips right past it with ease. Outside, Chu Yi claps his hands together, channeling raw power to maintain the dungeon formation. He carefully watches the holographic fight. Wow, so I can even feel the combat shockwaves. That means I can adjust the simulation live. Lin Feng isn't used to shadow types. First, I need to dial back the environmental hazards for him. Once he adapts, bam, hard mode engaged. Back in the fight. As the enemy rushes in, Lin Feng breathes massive dragon fire, trying to incinerate the guy. Engulfed in flames, the bandaged man turns to pure ash. But it's not over. Lin Feng glares backward with total contempt. You and I both know he's carrying this squad. Outside, more and more insane power floods right into the glowing orb. Chung Yi looks at the crew. Are you all ready? Hatlin, Linhai, and Thotum's son get enveloped by power. Pure determination locked on their faces. Flash. They teleport away. Only Chuvan is left behind, standing there tightly hugging a little wolf pup. She looks around, totally dazed. Then, she and the pup stare at Chu Yi with those giant, hopeful eyes. Knowing exactly what she wants, he brutally shuts it down. Don't even think about it. Rejected mercilessly, her face drops in total disappointment as she pouts. Since she can't go, Chuvan angrily sits down and starts building a snowman. Sununya turns over to Chunit. He's busy observing the fights. So kid, how does it feel controlling this mirror core? From the orb in his hand, crystal clear images of everyone's fierce battles reflect right before his eyes. It's absolutely incredible. It feels like holding a key that's super heavy, yet a perfect fit, he says. He stares at the item in his hand, describing the insane sensation. It's faint, but I can definitely feel this deep connection locking in. Every single time I build and maintain it, my bond to this space becomes so much clearer. It even feels like the total amount of raw power I can command just leveled up. Suna is totally pleased, but keeps up a tough front. Guess you have some talent after all. Remember, this thing is literally like a brand new arm you've grown. The more you flex it in practice, the easier it becomes to completely dominate and command. Just wait until you can control it 100%. Every single blade of grass in this entire mirror dungeon will move straight to your will. While those two are talking, Chuvan is hanging right next to them, playfully bowing down to the snowman she just built. Suddenly, Chuvan looks up. Her innocent face is gone, replaced by pure killer intent, as she brutally chops off the snowman's head. That is the true power of a dungeon master, the person next to him adds. Staring down the majestic blue dragon, Chunit confidently declares, I will absolutely make it happen. Meanwhile, Chuvan is heavily panting, running straight over to the spot where the snowman's icy head just rolled off. She bends down to hug the large snowball right beside a frozen wall. But inside that icy reflection, she spots the creepy figures of a whole group rapidly approaching. Sweating, Chuvan stumbles backward in absolute terror. Trust me, you're going to want to see what happens next. The little wolf pup beside her suddenly started growling. Panicking, she screamed out for her big brother, Chunit. Stick with me, we are about to witness pure hype. Chunit instantly appeared, shattering the ice wall with one fluid strike, calmly asking what was wrong. Chu Yun grabbed his arm, trembling with absolute fear. Pointing straight ahead, she stammered out that the woman was back. The terrifying woman in the red dress was actually hiding right there inside the mirror. They both stared hard at the broken ice as she kept insisting. Suddenly, the scene shifts right over to the dark entrance of Blackwind Valley. Lady Hong finally showed up, draped in red silk, looking completely drained and exhausted. Behind her stood these massive, red-wrapped figures. She immediately ordered 6 of them to go scout ahead, warning them to stay low and totally hidden. The entire path in front of them was blinded by snow. It felt super dangerous. Sensing a weird aura, Lady Hong suddenly threw her hand up to stop her crew, telling them to hold on. 2 targets were heading right for them. Sneaking inside, 2 of her guys quietly circled around back, slipping right through a narrow crack. Looking down with pure worry and totally wiped out, she ordered the other 2 to protect her. Up above, Chu Yi smirked. His mental energy was fully linked to the mirror prison core, letting his senses cover literally the entire Blackwind Valley. Basically, he had the whole valley locked down like security cameras. She had 0 chance of escaping his sight. His eyes went dead cold as he tracked every single move the intruders made, so she actually survived. But her breathing was a complete mess. She clearly used a forbidden technique to revive, but was super weak. He gently patted his sister on the head to calm her down. The enemy was basically on 0 HP, walking straight into his trap. He told Zhao Yun to relax. He promised to show her a fun little game. Hearing that, Chu Yun finally relaxed and asked what kind of game they were playing. Watch this next move closely. Chu Yi smiled cat and mouse. Meanwhile, hiding nearby, Lady Hong felt something horribly wrong, way too quiet. Her gut was screaming, feeling totally exposed. Almost like the entire valley was staring right back at her. She desperately needed to find out what was happening before reporting back to her boss. She barked at her 2 red-banded puppets to push forward, warning them to stay hidden. The puppets dashed across the ice walls while she ran below, absolutely shocked. The first gate was already smashed to pieces. Staring at the massive ice block, cleanly split in half, she realized it was cut down by just 1 single sword strike. Plus, there was this crazy familiar energy left over. A faint golden light glowed from nearby tentacles. They twitched weakly on the ground. She slammed on the brakes, kicking up snow as she stared in pure shock at the mess. Glowing golden tentacles burst right out of the frozen ground. Lady Hong gritted her teeth. Holy light. It was definitely him. Checking her wrist device, she panicked, wondering if she should report this straight up to her boss. Let's be real here. That's a terrible idea. Exposing her weak state meant instant mission failure, so she backed off. She figured she'd ping the hidden scouts in the valley first for intel. Finding Chu Yi's exact spot would be perfect, but it was completely useless. Her bracelet just kept flashing aggressive red. Connection totally failed. She was mind blown. Even the Merchant Association's top-tier secret communications were getting jammed out here. A spatial jammer? No way. Lady Hong shut her eyes, spawning red strings from her fingers like a crazy evil puppeteer. These puppet strings were powered purely by her soul energy. They shouldn't be blocked by regular energy shields at all. But ever since she stepped inside, some insane pressure was dragging the connection. Dark red threads exploded outward everywhere. Her 2 guys showed up as blurry shapes, but they were linked. Then, bam! A blinding flash forced the puppets to snap their heads around. In that exact second, she violently coughed up blood. The connection was wiped out. Her jumping puppets got absolutely blasted by 2 insane forces, ripping them to shreds like their strings were snipped clean off. Pure panic hit her face. The other 2 went down too. Did Chu Yi seriously possess some god-tier spatial ability, or were there more enemies? Lady Hong clenched her fists, grinding her teeth. Taking out 4 elite combat puppets in 1 second was absolutely insane. She literally couldn't react in time. In her weakened state, fighting him directly was just begging for a massive game over. Out of nowhere, a girl with twin pigtails dropped in from above, mocking her. Wow, Lady Hong, why so pale? Lady Hong snapped around, demanding to know what she was doing there. The mysterious girl touched down smoothly on the snow. She faked some pity, bragging about collecting from the sex retainers while she was bedridden. So, what do you and I think? This rivalry is about to get completely unhinged, so it looks like I'm taking over this mission too. Right? Let's dive right into the madness. Lady Hong glared. Did you kill my puppets? Unbothered, Yingji just twirled her pigtail. What are you talking about? I have no idea. She smirked. Looks like you're in serious trouble though. Better hurry back and heal up. Who knows? Could be multiple intruders out here. You really wouldn't want to die today, would you? Lady Hong's face went completely pale. You still have that vicious tongue. Yingji just flashed a playful, wicked smile. Maybe I learned it from hanging around you. Taking the hint, Lady Hong and her surviving puppets spun around, bolting in the opposite direction. Fine, you go scout ahead. But suddenly, boom! A colossal chunk of ice slammed down right in front of Lady Hong, freezing her solid. She scrambled backward in pure terror. Meanwhile, Yingji glanced up at the sky, completely caught off guard. And then, absolute chaos. Dozens of figures looking exactly like he made this many clones. The fakes swarmed her. She dodged like crazy, screaming, "Since when did you have puppets like this? Hey, Lady Hong, explain yourself." But Lady Hong was completely frozen, just staring blankly at her own exhausted, pathetic reflection in the ice. Suddenly, horrifying screams echoed from deep inside the ice. The woman's face twisted into pure disbelief. "Lady Hong, I'm begging you, spare me. We were best friends. Why did you push me? You would actually murder your own people just to climb the ranks." Back to Yingji. She was still clashing with the clones. They screamed, power surging, way deadlier than the mindless junk puppets from before. Watch closely now. What kind of insane expert built these monsters? Trapped. The girl fired off a barrage of massive techniques to block them, but within seconds, they copied her skills flawlessly, blasting her own moves right back at her. Absolutely furious, a terrifying, godlike aura erupted from her body. Glaring daggers at the clones, she growled, "If I actually lose to you cheap fakes, how could I ever show my face at the guild?" Boom. With one swing of her arms, she unleashed a massive shockwave of raw energy. Grabbing a fake by the throat, she roared, "I've survived just as much hell as your precious Lady Hong." Flash. In a single, devastating strike, she obliterated every last remaining puppet on the battlefield. Meanwhile, Lady Hong faced illusions of everyone she'd betrayed. "You and I both know karma never misses." Their haunting, ghostly voices closed in. "Hong, don't let the gold and silver completely blind you. Did you forget the scraps we shared in the slums? Please, I'm begging you. Let me go. I swear I'll keep my mouth shut. I'll leave right now. I'll never step foot in Tianlin province again. Your subordinate literally kidnapped my fiancé. He said if I fought back, he'd strip her and drag her through the public streets. Show some mercy. And I swear I'll tell you everything. Please don't do this. My 10-year-old son is still waiting for me at home. If I die, he becomes an orphan. I'm begging you, for his sake, let me live. I'll do absolutely anything. I'll sell myself if I have to. Just let me watch him grow up. At least, leave my body whole. Let me bow to my mother before I die." Can't you even do that, Lady Hong? You slaughtered your own friends just for a fancy title. Was the wealth Lord Lu offered really worth throwing away 20 years of friendship? Finally, the last illusion materialized a woman with a gentle, warm smile. Reaching out her hand toward a tiny, blood-soaked child, she softly spoke, "You're starving, aren't you, little one? Wipe that blood off your face and come with me. Starting today, your name is Hong." Heavy tears welled up in Lady Hong's eyes. "Foster mother," she choked out. But in a split second, the woman's sweet face twisted into a demonic snarl. Eyes burning with pure hatred, she lunged right at Lady Hong. "When you were little, I thought you were just rebellious. I saved the best food, the finest clothes, everything for you. I never imagined you'd become this ungrateful monster, that you would actually kill me. Everything I ever taught you, you used as a weapon against me." Desperate, Lady Hong threw her arms up to block the ghost, screaming, "Get out of my head." The phantom woman whipped out crimson cloths, wrapping them around a giant skull and taking full control. For the first time, the villain actually looked panicked. She screamed back at the haunting voices, "I live in a massive mansion now. My floors are paved in solid gold. I have servants kneeling just to bring me expensive soup. That weak Hong who shared corn cakes? She died in those freezing slums a long time ago. I worked my fingers to the bone to completely conquer Tianlin province's economy. Did you idiots think I'd leave loose ends to destroy my empire? If I killed you but gave you a proper burial just to look like a good daughter, my entire reputation all these years would become a total joke. So, instead of trusting your pathetic, last-minute attempts to beg for your miserable lives, I'll make you watch her pay. And that's where we leave it. Absolute madness, right? Stick with me here. This villain is absolutely brutal. Defy her, and your loved ones suffer." She coldly mocks her victim. "Selling yourself? You aren't even worthy of that. This isn't a charity. Zero room to bargain. If you die, your son becomes an orphan. And honestly, that's entirely your fault. Why should she care? People claim Lord Lu handed her wealth and high status, but he didn't give her anything. She took it herself. She used her own brilliant schemes to climb up. That is way more real than 20 years of fake friendship you keep whining about. Calling her ungrateful? Please. You are the exact person who raised her this way. If you really cared, you would have plotted with her to gain power, instead of clinging to your pathetic, boring, peaceful little life. You told her to stop dreaming. In reality, you just couldn't keep up, so you tried dragging her back down into the mud. With those final, venomous words, she commands the giant skull to unleash raw, devastating power. Boom! The blast totally shatters the ghost crowd, tearing apart her very own physical nightmares. That energy beam shoots straight into a mirror, blasting violently outward. But in that split second, the mirror flashes, violently reflecting the strike back. Yingji suddenly pops up behind her, complaining about those deadly clones. He glares at her. Time for you to give me a real explanation, right? Before she can even reply, Lady Hong's crimson ribbons shoot out, binding her tight. All that unleashed energy comes violently rushing right back. A blinding flash. She's thrown into another illusion. A completely desolate ruin from her own memories. Why is she here? Suddenly, a massive monster opens its jaws right behind Lady Hong, ready to swallow her whole. She spins around, seeing red. Damn it, you really aren't going to stop? But the beast simply vanishes, leaving just a mirror. So, this crazy mirror maze uses illusions too? Just a cheap trick to trap her. Red threads burst from her arms, eyes going dead cold. Making her surrender will not be that easy. Watch closely here. She summons her deadly puppets, dropping a massive level 35 guardian. She screams her order, absolutely smash every single mirror here. But right before striking, the mirror reflects it. A dark, twisted shadow clone steps out of the glass. The puppet senses the immediate danger. It glances back, and a brutal, all-out war instantly erupts between them. The ear-piercing sound of their clashes would give anyone chills. Across the maze, Lady Hong watches in pure horror. Her own puppets are slaughtering each other. She screams at them to stop, losing her mind. Obey my commands. She shrieks in panic, watching their armor brutally crack and shatter apart. But they keep fighting like absolute madmen. When they finally pause, they are completely covered in devastating wounds. Lady Hong violently shakes. What exactly are you trying to do here? Suddenly, a puppet turns to her. It flashes a creepy smile, then vanishes. Her nerves are pushed right to the absolute breaking point. You and I both see her fear. This isn't an illusion, he is literally controlling her own puppets. What kind of godlike power is this? Sweating cold, Lady Hong's mind races desperately. Chu Yi's absolute control over Blackwind Valley is beyond comprehension. Now, she is utterly alone. Out of every single strategy, only one option remains. Run. She has to get out of here right now. She'll report back to Boss Liu. Sprinting frantically down her previous path, she keeps praying that he'll have a backup plan. Suddenly, the solid ground cracks wide open. Startled, she looks down. Her escape route vanished, replaced by a slippery, terrifying ice bridge. She violently slides down the ice. Her control threads snap completely. Finally, she stops by slamming brutally hard, straight into a solid wall. Looking up helplessly, she realizes her puppet strings are completely blocked out. He is just playing with her. She's a helpless bug trapped in his giant web. Just a sad toy left entirely at his mercy. Come out and kill me. Stop hiding. Outside, Chu Yi perfectly maintains complete control over the entire illusion. Watching her pathetic state, Chu Yi's voice darkly echoes through the maze. Go ahead, keep struggling, just like the people you sacrificed. Now, you can feel their endless despair. He forces her to face her reflection. This trap is yours. Desperate, Lady Hong starts bargaining. She begs. The Merchant Guild is too powerful, and Boss Liu still has a trump card. He just smirks. Not interested. Trust me, you'll want to see what happens next. All right, stick with me here. She screams at Chu Yi that the guild's army is coming fast. Lady Hong suddenly pulls out a creepy doll. This thing? An explosive puppet forged by their top artifact refiner. The guild literally only has one. She yells that he can't control everything, daring him to stop it. Unleashing a massive power surge, she screams for the backup outside, to hear she's taking this whole place down. Boom! A massive explosion leaves Lady Hong completely battered in the smoke. She looks totally dazed, feeling like something is missing. Snapping back to reality, she looks down. Her legs? Completely gone. Blown clean off. Then, Chu Yi's voice cuts through the smoke. Die? I never gave you permission for that. Touching her head, Lady Hong laughs helplessly, tears streaming down. She asks if he's some kind of demon, begging for death. But he replies with zero emotion. I actually enjoy watching prey struggle in pure despair. Isn't that your favorite hobby too? So, when it's your turn, you just want to die? What a hypocrite. Utterly broken, Lady Hong props herself up on her hands. She finally gets it. If he controls Black Wind Valley, he definitely killed that woman from earlier, didn't he? Lowering her head, she mumbles in defeat. He wants her spot, and she's getting the exact same ending. Zhu Hang and Zhu Xiao are still at the family estate, right? She instinctively looks at the sky, searching for whoever is out there. Suddenly, her tone gets super cocky. Yes, that single word of confirmation targets Zhu Yun directly. She flinches, bad vibes totally washing over her. They mention the little sister. Suddenly, light chains spawn everywhere. Now, watch closely. A glowing blue light charges right at her, triggering massive danger alarms. Bam! Chains shoot out, instantly hoisting Lady Hong's ruined body into the air, trapping her in a tight glowing spiderweb. Chu Yi's tone softens up, though his face stays totally deadpan. He glances back at his sister, Zhao Yun. Look away. I'll end this fast. Chu Yun turns her head, hesitating for a second, but then she bravely steps right up. Brother, let me do it. Chu Yi looks back, genuinely caught off guard. Clenching her little fists, she reminds him. This woman tried to kidnap her, wanting to hurt everyone. She used to be terrified, but right now, Chu Yun's eyes are pure, absolute determination. Hand on her chest, she declares that staying afraid makes this woman a forever nightmare. She refuses to live in fear like this. She begs to handle it. Chu Yi gently pats her hair. His soft, reassuring voice makes her blush a bit. All right, I'm right here with you. Flash, he teleports them straight in front of Lady Hong, who is wrapped in heavy chains. Weirdly, she looks thrilled, practically expecting this. Sneering at the siblings, she mocks the little brat, asking if being protected feels nice. I know what you're thinking. She's insane. With a crazed grin, she screams. Got the guts? Lady Hong thrashes around like a maniac. The glowing chains dig deep, drawing serious blood. Her mangled leg wounds gush out relentlessly against the tight binds. A few red drops splatter onto Chu Yun's face, wiping the blood away. She literally wipes away her own fear. You evil, evil woman. Chu Yun summons a sharp ice crystal. I'm not scared of you anymore. Lady Hong just laughs mockingly, relying on that pathetic little ice trick. She hasn't forgotten how Chu Yun used to hide behind her brother, crying like a baby, and now she dares to point a weapon? But Chu Yun doesn't even flinch at the taunt. Commanding the ice crystal, she sends it flying straight through Lady Hong's body, completely shattering those heavy chains in the process. Even with massive injuries, she raves like an absolute lunatic. Chu Yi and his family are hers. Cackling madly, she grabs a broken ice shard. No way she's losing to a little brat. Taking aim, the crazy woman hurls the sharp shard right at Chu Yun. Chu Yi screams in terror, but a massive power wave erupts from the girl. Totally fearless, she just crushes the incoming attack, swearing to never let her near her brother again. Chu Yun crushes the ice shard into pure dust. Immediately, an absolute swarm of ice crystals surges forward, brutally impaling her. Blood splatters everywhere as her eyes roll back. And it doesn't stop. A massive swarm of tiny glass shards descends right onto her. They rapidly drain the blood straight from her veins. System notification. Absorbing Lady Hong's energy. Mirror prison core control hits 35%. Now scanning for new guardians. Phantom logged. Holding the crystal, she speaks softly. Trust me. You'll want to see what's next. She never wants to be a hostage used against him again. Chu Yi just gently holds his sister, feeling her lingering terror. Stick with me, you're about to watch them bounce back. She did amazing today. Hearing his soft praise, Chu Yun tears up, gripping his hand tight. He just keeps speaking in that calm, low voice of his. Meanwhile, Lady Hong's corpse fades away. Chu Yun, no longer the weak little girl needing constant saving, cut to somewhere else. A giant map, bleeding with red dots, covers the wall, while a man quietly watches it. A girl slips out of the shadows, standing dead quiet behind his chair. His tone is cold. Lady Hong outlived her usefulness anyway, he mutters. But this new intruder? Not some random amateur. Luan frowns at his compass. Their secret base is totally exposed. That dark compass? Epic tier. Carved from pure demon bone and abyss crystal. Packed straight into the core is a literal demon lord soul. It lets the user absorb demonic energy, heavily spiking their dark power and leveling them up. Seeing the heavy lightning crackling across it, Luan calls out to Dark Deer. Instantly, figures materialize and drop to one knee. Their eyes? Burning with absolute fanatic loyalty. They will do whatever he commands without hesitation. The elite Dark Deer Squad. A level 41 Wind Spirit, a level 42 Bone Mage, a level 43 Stone Warrior, a 42 Blood Swordsman, and a level 40 Assassin. Luan just stays seated, resting his chin on his hand. his eyes pure absolute ice. Blackwind Valley is a total mess right now, and he needs to clean it up before the master wakes up. Now, watch closely. He's ordering them to wipe out the intruders. Luan raises a hand, spawning glowing red orbs in midair for each of them. Blood intoxication pills used to violently unlock a person's absolute hidden potential. A blonde guy stands up, smashing his fists heavily together. He swears the shadow guards will slaughter the intruder. But Luan snaps, calling them useless trash. Luan stands up, blasting purple energy over his entire squad. His voice turns deadly quiet as he gives the final command to go. Hunt down that rat. Suddenly, a blurry memory flashes, revealing a literal hellscape straight out of the underworld. Flames that melt bone are raging everywhere, as someone suddenly complains about all the excessive noise. Right behind Lady Hong, dozens of innocent hostages are tied up tight, absolutely unable to move a single muscle. The scene shifts. She's kneeling respectfully, reporting that she offered the master 177 human sacrifices this month. And just like that, the entire memory fragment completely shatters into nothingness. Chu Yi is absolutely furious, cursing the Mammoth Guild. His sharp eyes glow ice blue, and pure, violent killing intent floods out like a massive tidal wave. The instance dungeon didn't absorb that female assassin's body. You and I both know they realized she's dead. Luan is definitely on his way to kill him. As for the guild trading living humans to the demon race, he's leaving all that dirty evidence for his teacher. Opening his screen, he knows only his teacher has the raw power to stop Luan and annihilate the guild instantly. Wang Hai picks up almost immediately, asking Chu Yi why on earth he's calling at this hour. Chu Yi drops the entire situation without holding back. It's an absolute emergency. He's deep in Blackwind Valley and found the Mammoth Guild's darkest secret. He carefully recounts every single insane detail. They've been using living hostages to feed a dark creature here, but they are secretly hiding something way worse. He can't drop the real truth about the core prison mirror yet. So, he pins all the discovered info right onto Lady Hong. His mind is totally made up. Chu Yi begins to lie flawlessly, without even blinking an eye. He claims Lady Hong confessed this dark creature is actually a rapidly growing dimensional gate. The human sacrifices speed up its formation. If it matures, the entire demon race behind the gate will endlessly flood out, plunging the Zhongsha nation back into the same brutal crisis from 100 years ago. Wang Hai's face shows zero expression whatsoever. He coldly crosses his arms, demanding the dimensional gate's current status. Chu Yi reports honestly that it recently absorbed way too much wild energy. It's now in a dormant digestion period, making this their absolute last chance to strike. Once digestion finishes, the gate stabilizes permanently. Finally getting a full grasp of the insane situation over there, Wang Hai immediately issues his strict orders. He's using his highest absolute authority to contact the military right now. Trust me, you're going to want to see this elite squad lock down the valley. All right, stick with me here. We are diving straight into the chaos. Chu Yi orders everyone to retreat. Before he can even finish, boom. Crimson lightning, thick as fresh blood, violently rips across the sky. Static. The signal dies completely. His comms link with Wang Hui is entirely cut off. Luan has arrived. He's way faster than expected. The rest of the team reacts to this insane sky instantly, appearing right at Chu Yi's side. Zhu Ran looks up, confused but needing to know for sure. Brother Yi, what is this? He doesn't even answer her. Instead, he turns and projects a prism for everyone to see. Get over here, now. We have a massive emergency. The prism displays Luan's sinister squad rapidly closing in on them. Chu Yi instantly starts forming an escape plan for his squad. Listen to me very closely. He brought 5 guys over level 40, and he's 46 himself. The power gap here is absolutely massive. We have zero chance in a straight fight. I'm getting you guys out first. I will stay behind and wait for backup. But Shen Lingfeng immediately shouts back in pure defiance. I am not leaving. He angrily scratches his head. He's obviously terrified for Chu Yi, but completely sucks at showing it. Send the others away if you want. I didn't train just to turn tail and run away. Plus, you think you get to play the solo hero all by yourself? Not in this lifetime. But Chu Yi isn't touched at all. Instead, he glares sternly. Shen Lingfeng, this is no time for tantrums. The gap between level 40 and 26 is suicide. But it's not just him. Even the usually gentle Su Ran steps up. Brother Yi, I am staying right here. And it's not just her. The entire team chimes in, their voices locked in pure determination. We are a team. No one faces this kind of danger alone. We are fighting too. We can't let you shield us every single time. We all have S-rank skills now. If we stay, we can actually be useful. Chu Yi just sighs, keeping that perfectly long, deadpan expression on his face. He stares at them, totally exhausted. This squad of low-level, ridiculously stubborn friends is a massive headache. He finally gives up on stopping them. But before he agrees, he lays down some serious ground rules. Fine, if you're all crazy enough to stay, I am shifting the plan. I will forcefully distort space to separate Luan from his goons, dropping them into isolated zones. You each take one. Now, pay close attention here, because this is where the stakes get crazy. This isn't a training drill anymore. You fight with every ounce of power you have. But most importantly, do not fight to the death. Your only goal is stalling until the army gets here. The absolute second you can't hold on, yell for me, and I will yank you out. Got it? His intense lecture doesn't discourage this crazy squad one bit. Honestly, their hype levels just skyrocket. That is more like it. We got this, Brother Yi. Leave them to us. Meanwhile, Luan is slowly floating closer. Seeing Chu Yi's squad just casually standing there sends him into absolute rage. Pitch black mist violently erupts from his back. You pathetic insects don't know your place. Get the hell out of my way. Chu Yi just calmly spreads his hand, activating his cubic space. Begin. In a flash, Luan's goons are trapped by blinding golden light. A massive, complex formation instantly locks under their feet. Feeling his crew's presence vanishing, it takes Luan exactly 1 second to realize what Chu Yi just pulled off. Spatial distortion. Cut to Shadow Strike, who gets dumped into a completely wrecked, isolated zone. Su Ran is already waiting. You and I both know what happens next. She instantly lunges right at her, swinging that great sword high. Smash. But her downward strike only shatters a fake afterimage. The real Shadow Strike is standing there, totally unharmed. So this little rat is a girl, she sneers. Zero fear on her face. Just the disgusting arrogance of a level 40. Such a pity. What can a pathetic level 26 even do to me? Su Ran stays completely silent. She just spins that giant blade, launching the tip forward like a bullet. But damn it, she hits another afterimage. Still, Su Ran doesn't flinch. Instead, those pinkish-purple eyes turn icy cold, locked in with absolute, terrifying focus. With a sharp flick of her wrist, Su Ran violently spins and launches another heavy slash. Boom! Direct hit. This time, Shadow Strike is actually forced to block the heavy blade with her bare hands, yet the assassin actually sounds impressed. You can see through my chaotic shadow steps? Just like before, Su Ran says absolutely nothing. She just fiercely flips her grip on the hilt and swings the entire flat of the blade with both hands. So what do you and I make of this opening clash? It's like trying to flex on a veteran. Su Ran only clips her close, while Shadow Strike lands perfectly safe on flat ground. Saran tried to keep her cool, but the panic was definitely showing. Stick with me, we're about to see how crazy a level 40 assassin really is. Raw power isn't her thing, but fighting her head-on? Absolute suicide. Watching the whole clash from a distance, Chu Yi just closed his eyes. Telepathic commands engaged. Shaoan, do not take her head-on. Her speed and raw power completely outclass yours. Use your succubus senses. Lock onto her exact position, then trigger your sword formation. We are going to drag her right out of the shadows. An assassin is nothing without stealth. The second she loses her cover, her threat level drops to 0. Pushed to the edge by Surin's relentless pressure, Shadow Strike stopped running. Time for a kill shot. A massive wave of deadly steel flew right at her. Suran? She just slammed her greatsword into the dirt. Boom. The whole world moved in slow motion. Those lethal steel shards smashed into her blade and just bounced right off. A massive rune circle erupted under Suran's feet. Suddenly, a phantom clone of herself jumped straight into the chaos. Her signature move, the Phantom Sword Shadow Formation. Basically, this level 1 formation calls down a sword soul to relentlessly attack the target. Plus, it has a massive chance to completely break their stance. Oh, and it poisons them too. Once that sword soul fades out, it drops one devastating final hit. So, it didn't matter how many fake clones Shadow Strike spammed. The Phantom Sword Shadow wiped them all out instantly. She was busy talking trash when the sword shadow slashed right up, ripping a massive gash across her chest. Here's where it gets wild. Shadow Strike froze in pure shock. A direct hit. What just happened? Real fear finally hit her as she stared at this insane trap. Every single second she spent trapped inside that energy field, her speed kept dropping like a rock. Her flawless stealth was broken. Worse than that, she felt the poison actively eating away at her open wound. Her face went completely pale, cold sweat dripping everywhere. This crazy kid actually laced her blade with deadly poison. But then, Shadow Strike literally dove straight into the dirt, just phasing through the solid ground like it was water. In a split second, she popped back up, completely unharmed. High rank or not, inside a direct combat trap like this, her assassin toolkit was worthless. She was getting pushed right to the edge of death. Shadow Strike cursed under her breath, but kept charging straight at Surin at full speed. She figured out the core. This entire trap was linked to the kid. Kill her, and the whole formation shatters. She slammed her hand right into Suran's stomach. Screaming with absolute malice, she thought this fight was already over. Even then, she had zero clue what was actually happening, still blindly flexing about their massive level gap. But then Surin just grabbed the assassin's wrist and violently ripped the hand out of her own stomach. Shadow Strike was completely paralyzed in shock. What the hell are you doing? Suran locked her down tight, totally ignoring her own blood soaking through her gear. Right then, the floating blades above them looked like they were grabbed by invisible hands. You felt that tension too, right? Suran glared right through her, dropping one final, brutal checkmate to end this game. The Sword Soul went completely silent. Across the battlefield, total destruction. The ground was shredded with massive, deep gashes like a monster just ripped it apart. Boom! A deafening shockwave hit as Lingfeng's savage dragon claw smashed into an unbreakable steel shield. But honestly, he didn't care at all. That block just acted like pure adrenaline. He went full berserk mode. Time for the Flame Dragon's descent. Let's see your little shield handle this. He immediately triggered his double hidden buffs, Blood Frenzy and Crimson Flame Fist. Lingfeng's target was this guy with golden brown hair. Shield locked down tight in one hand. He gripped his spear and launched a vicious thrust. You pathetic ant. Lingfeng instantly flared his dragon chi to block that deadly spear tip. The whole zone split into two massive, clashing energy auras. But Shikai's spear was way sharper than Lingfeng ever expected. Despite his heavy block, the brutal attack just kept pushing. It ripped right through. He was literally getting shoved backward across the dirt. Massive cracks spider-webbed across the dragon shield right where that spear dug deep. Watching from afar, Chu Yi felt the heat and blasted a warning. Lingfeng, that guy is a level 43 Dark Warrior. His physical defense and raw strength are absolutely insane. Going head-on is suicide. Blast him with Dragon's Breath. Melt his guard, wear his stamina down, make him furious. When he finally snaps and goes berserk, that is your opening. Meanwhile, Shikai just smirked, utterly convinced he had won. So what do you and I take from this? Never get arrogant. He started flexing, claiming this was the first time someone fought dirtier than him. Let's dive right into this crazy battle. Shikai scoffs. Strong techniques, zero openings. Shame you're only level 26, kid. Shikai flexes his massive muscles, thrusting his spear forward. In a battle of pure, raw strength, I absolutely will not lose. Remembering Chu Yi's advice, Lingfeng quickly switches up his entire attack pattern. Retracting his dragon shield, he instantly slams a fist hard into the dirt. I'm not playing your little game. Shikai is completely caught off guard by the wild move. A thick cloud of kicked-up dust leaves him totally stunned. Recognizing this once-in-a-lifetime opening, Lingfeng shoots straight forward like a rocket. Absolutely zero hesitation. Wide open. He opens his mouth, launching an attack exactly like Chu Yi advised. Shikai instantly realizes how insanely deadly that dragon's breath is. He thrusts his spear, forcing Lingfeng to fiercely dodge away. Just like that, the fiery breath attack fades. But Shikai, he's only getting more enraged. Stomping the ground, he spins hard. Using his heel to pivot, he launches his whole massive body forward. Spear gleaming, he violently roars, I left that opening on purpose. Did you actually think a level 43 fights that simply? Shikai can seriously sense the danger rolling off Lingfeng now. He rushes in, thrusting his heavy spear with absolute maximum power. Die. But too bad for him. Lingfeng is literally tougher than a cockroach. He nimbly dodges every single thrust, even finding breath to trash talk. Screw you, you tin can. Almost had me, but that was pure acting. In reality, he barely dodged that razor-sharp spear multiple times. He's actually starting to sweat. The massive gap in their levels is painfully obvious. If this keeps up, I'm going to bleed out for sure. Finally, his luck runs completely out. Too slow to dodge, Lingfeng gets violently smashed backward by Shikai's brutal hit. But pay attention here. Chu Yi has been quietly waiting for this exact, brutal moment. Now's the time. His power is maxed out, but his defense is completely wide open. Hearing the warning, Lingfeng staggers right back up, casually wiping fresh blood from his mouth. Nice hit, man. Shikai charges him again, giving zero breathing room. But Lingfeng just laughs like a maniac. The harder you hit, the more hyped I get. Lingfeng stretches out his bloody hand. Time to pay back every single hit. With absolute interest. This wound? Didn't you say you loved using brute force to crush me flat? Today, you'll learn that a blood debt gets paid in blood. Shikai, totally lost in berserker rage, doesn't even see this counterattack coming. In one single second, the entire battlefield transforms into a terrifying, deep crimson bloodbath. Blood literally pours down from the sky while erupting from the ground, covering absolutely everything. Lingfeng screams, and massive, fist-sized blood drops violently hurtle in from every single angle. Shikai can't dodge in time, or rather, he's completely paralyzed as these dark crimson drops latch directly onto his thick skin. His immense strength starts fading. Pupils shrinking in pure terror, he realizes, they're draining my life force and power. Shikai crushes the blood sacs, clinging like parasites. His berserker state goes completely off the rails as he roars furiously. What kind of dark magic is this? Lingfeng explains nothing, just standing there laughing like an absolute villain. Iron Turtle, even your hardest shell is totally useless now. Taste your own raw power, he mutters his ultimate move. Now, you and I need to appreciate how broken this skill is. Wrath of the Bloodlust, level 1 literally sucks out an enemy's blood chi to form perfectly condensed blood orbs. These orbs merge into a soul blood orb. Throw it, and boom, a massive, wildly violent explosion of pure blood energy. All the soul orbs stuck to Shikai's body detonate simultaneously, instantly shrouding the whole area in a thick, terrifying red mist. Meanwhile, outside, Chu-Yi is grinding nonstop, using his magic scrying mirrors to monitor every single fighter's separate spatial zone. The first 4 spatial fragments proceeding perfectly smoothly with his direct backup. But big trouble is brewing on Holland's end. A nasty skeleton shatters her barrier, lunging right for her throat to tear her apart. Luckily, Chu-Yi, Hawkeye watching from the outside, spots this deadly sneak attack just in time. Holland's in danger. He channels pure power into his glowing orb, shielding her from miles away. Light's protection. Instantly, a massive, brightly shining barrier of pure golden light wraps securely around Holland. It violently blocks the skeleton's hideous claw. The holy light easily purifies the undead monster, making it shriek in pure agony. The skeleton crumbles into dust. So what do you and I learn here? Always keep a top-tier support player on your team. Holland is completely filled with gratitude. Stick with me here, because things get wild fast. She refused to quit, fighting for her squad. Chu Yi just stayed dead silent. His eyes darted across the remaining 4 spatial zones. He was actually maintaining 5 separate battlefields all at the exact same time. But the massive drain on his spiritual energy? Way worse than he calculated. Luckily, his squad wasn't in any immediate mortal danger. Over in the 6th spatial zone, his little sister Chu Van was totally safe, just playing with a puppy. Knowing she was safe gave Chu Yi peace. Now, time to handle the absolute biggest threat. And that massive threat was playing right out on the giant scrying mirror, hovering dead ahead. Lu Tuyen was going absolute berserk out there, wiping out entire armies with just one single, devastating swing. The guy wasn't even breaking a sweat. To buy his squad enough time to win their fights, Chu Yi had to drop in some heavy reinforcements. Guardians, manifest. Instantly, hundreds of grotesque monsters of every shape and terrifying size ripped their way right out of the dirt. Long, twisted arms smashed through the solid rock, bursting upward like a massive, writhing swarm of nightmares. This guardian army just kept multiplying. Soon, a solid 1,000-meter radius was completely swallowed up by this chaotic, swarming horde of beasts. Now, pay attention, because here is where the tension spikes. Despite this insane monster army blocking his path, Lu Tuyen just kept walking forward, completely fearless. With both hands casually shoved right in his pockets, he glared at the squirming monsters like they were just annoying bugs. Suddenly, an insanely overpowering aura erupted straight from his body. The sheer pressure was so terrifyingly heavy, it literally made the ground shake, turning the air thick and suffocating. When the dust finally cleared, the legendary figure of the Red Countess slowly stepped into view. Her eyes flared a toxic crimson. She rushed him, leaving these wild red energy trails and deadly phantom clones right in her wake. Lu Tuyen just smirked. Not bad. Raising one hand up, his eyes went ice cold as he muttered, restless, even in death. Vicious streaks of purple spiritual energy blasted out, whipping around the Red Countess and violently throwing her back. She slammed hard into the dirt. He wasn't done. Stop hiding like a coward and playing these games. Step up and face your death. Suddenly, this weird compass materialized in his grip. Massive streams of blood-red spiritual energy started swirling right past his completely indifferent face. The energy fused together, spawning an absolutely massive, blood-red avatar, towering right behind him. He slowly raised his arm, and the giant avatar, perfectly mimicked the motion. With a savage yell, he violently slammed his hand downward. The massive avatar crushed the earth with an epic palm strike, completely obliterating the entire battlefield in a deafening, earth-shattering boom. I know what you're thinking, game over, right? Nope. As the ground shattered, Chu Yi blasted straight up, dodging instant death. A brilliant golden light flared from his forehead. Instantly, a solid barrier snapped into place, perfectly blocking that lethal strike. Lu Tuyen glared up. A level 30 rat actually managed to block 50% of my raw power? Your little secrets are way more intriguing than I originally thought. Having fully absorbed the massive impact, Chu Yi's glowing shield slowly started fading away. In a literal blink, Lu Tuyen launched up, appearing right in Chu Yi's face. Before the strike could land, Chu Yi instantly teleported directly behind him. Lu Tuyen scowled. He snapped his head back, sounding genuinely shocked. You actually stole the mirror prison core and mastered it this much? Should I praise you as a once-in-a-century prodigy, or just call you an arrogant fool with a death wish? Chu Yi kept his cool, smirking back. You flatter me, boss. Compared to your insane master plan of sacrificing living humans to feed a demonic gate, my neat little tricks are nothing, he thought. Those beasts were literally just meant to buy a few seconds. Lu Tuyen fired right back, cursing that completely useless Madame Hong. Looks like she spilled her guts to you before dying. Chu Yi didn't miss a beat. People facing death will trade any secret to survive. But get this, the villain had zero clue the core lets users view past memories. Lu Tuyen raised his hand, charging up deadly energy with a deeply unhinged grin. Just hand over the core, and I might actually grant you a quick, painless death. I might even give you the rare chance to serve me. Trashing raw talent like yours would be a total waste. Right then, Chu Yi started glowing, laughing straight in his face. You've been a loyal dog for so long. Did you completely forget how to have an actual spine? But Lu Tuyen just kept pushing the deal. Smart men adapt and survive. If I wanted to, I could force the demon clan to awaken way ahead of schedule. So what do you and I make of this? This whole valley is doomed, but Chu Yi finishes his epic transformation, ready to risk everything. You just don't have the guts. Is your merchant guild just a smokescreen? Spreading fake rumors to hide the truth until your master wakes up? Chu Yi's voice echoed loudly. Your boss isn't ready yet, and a pathetic lackey like you definitely doesn't have the power to pull this off. Stick with me here. Luan was completely losing his mind. Veins bulged on his furious face as he wildly swung his arm and roared, You sharp-tongued brat. I'm going to rip your very soul out and make you suffer a fate way worse than death. But right before Luan could attack, a glowing golden magic array appeared overhead. A blinding light laser blasted straight down. Luan desperately threw his hands up, using every ounce of his raw power to block the heavy hit. A massive golden astral giant suddenly manifested, raising its arm to summon an epic sword. The giant lifted that massive blade high, getting ready to smash it down. The target? None other than Luan, who was now totally shielded inside a glowing crimson barrier, eyes glowing blood red. Luan violently roared, Crimson Hellstream. This massive move pulls dark energy from everywhere, creating a devastating wave of pure, corrosive destruction. Chu Yi watched that blinding light expand inside the red sphere. Time for his ultimate move. Activate, level 5, Righteous Judgment. This insane skill opens a holy magic circle, dropping blades of light from the sky to absolutely wreck any trapped enemy. The final strike. An angel of justice chucks a holy spear, dealing absolutely devastating, game-ending damage. Luan's heavy voice boomed out. Stealing the first move? Great battle instincts. But when the power gap is this massive, your clever little tricks mean absolutely nothing. Right before that killer attack hit, Chu Yi suddenly slammed his hands together. Floating mirror shards materialized before him, each reflecting Luan's furious face. Those shards were instantly obliterated by that crimson energy torrent. With the killing blow rushing right at him, Chu Yi had to leap backward, barely dodging the insane blast. You saw that too, right? He barely landed a safe distance from that impact. Chu Yi grabbed his chest in agony, coughing up a little blood. Holding his mystical compass, Luan stared him down and coldly declared, Very good. A pathetic level 30 ant actually managed to hurt me. But your run ends right now. He triggered his fusion skill, temporarily tapping into absolute demon lord power and rocketing all of his battle stats through the roof. With that massive red astral form burning behind him, Luan scoffed. To think you forced me to use the mighty origin compass. You should feel proud. Raising his hand, Luan roared, Be destroyed. Chu Yi's eyes immediately shot wide with pure horror. That energy wave blasted forward with an insane shock wave. Luan's palm strike directly blitzed Chu Yi's spot, unleashing absolute, terrifying destruction everywhere. Chu Yi's body was violently launched through the air, thrown back completely helplessly as the massive dust cloud finally cleared. He was skidding hard across the rough ground, desperately bracing his hands just to stop from fully collapsing. Chu Yi slowly looked up, his mind racing. A level 46 boss with an epic tier weapon. His raw power has completely mutated. Even if my holy class counters his dark magic, with a level gap this massive, I literally stand no chance. Frowning hard, his voice rang out with pure determination as he screamed, "Tixin!" Over in her mirror dimension, she was completely losing the battle. A deadly blade was swinging straight for her neck. Chu Yi instantly intervened, deflecting the killer blade and saving her life. Then, an image popped up alongside Luan's mocking voice. "Now, pay attention to this." Luan figured out he was maintaining 5 mirror dimensions this whole time. Luan smirked down at him. "I was wondering why my shadow clones couldn't break through your home turf after all those relentless attacks. They're trapped for now, but with your focus this split, there's absolutely no way you can ever beat me." Chu Yi stood up, staring coldly. "None of your business." But inside, he was panicking. Fighting Luan while holding up 5 dimensions? The mental strain was pushing him past his breaking point. Time for a desperate gamble. I need to pull back all the mental energy holding those dimensions together and dump every single drop into the mirror prison core. Luan suddenly lunged forward, raising his axe. "Today, I'll prove why a level 30 is garbage against a 46. He smashed it down, completely shattering the earth and blasting rubble into the sky. Chu Yi dashed back just in time, instantly launching a counterattack with one hand. Punishment of light. Epic golden lightning rained from the sky, with every single bolt blasting Luan's exact spot. Chu Yi's brows furrowed in pure focus, keeping his eyes locked dead on target. Slamming his massive iron chains down, he completely locked Luan in from every angle. Divine lightning chains of the heavenly prison, an S tier, divine lightning cage, trapped him instantly. "Trust me, you're going to want to see what happens next. All right, stick with me, we're jumping into a life or death showdown." He backed into a massive stone slab. Zhao Yi used it to launch himself forward with everything he had. But from the center of those heavy chains, a blazing red light locked right onto him. Boom! A massive explosion totally wrecked the prison Zhao Yi built, even shattering the blade right in his hand. Cold sweat dripped down his face. But his hand was wide open, totally ready to unleash the hand of God. A giant energy hand swiped to block Luan's blast. But the destructive force was so insane, even the hand of God got erased. Zhao Yi gritted his teeth, completely ignoring the searing pain and the blood now misting the air. Bone Fang suddenly materialized behind him, jaws wide open. "I will help you," it roared. 3 terrifying forces clashed at once. The epic impact triggered a massive, ground-shattering shockwave. Bone Fang and Zhao Yi were slammed into the dirt. Zhao Yi's epic transformation totally vanished. As for Bone Fang, fading fast. Zhao Yi fought to sit up, shaking as he watched his ultimate companion forced to retreat. Right as Zhao Yi made sure his summon was safe, Luan hovered over, a dying dragon soul, basically begging for death. "You are not bad, kid. But against me, all your little trump cards are absolute garbage." Luan's eyes shifted to the floating glass shards. A cold smirk. "Now pay attention. We are watching his worst nightmare." In one mirror, Suan was brutally impaled by feathers. In another, Ling Feng was smashed into the dirt, paralyzed, and Xiaolan was doing just as horribly as her teammates. A mob of skeletons dragged her by the hair. A fourth mirror showed Ling Tong pinned to a wall like a literal pincushion target. Tyaxin was violently run through with a sword, dumped in a pile of rubble. She was completely out cold. Luan just laughed. "Can't even save yourself, yet you play hero? Pathetic." He just flicked his wrist, and insane gravity slammed Zhao Yi straight into the ground. "You don't even have the right to save them." Zhao Yi's fingers practically bled, desperately clawing the earth against the crushing pressure. He let out an absolute war cry, eyes burning with pure, unyielding resolve. System prompt: Divine Lightning, Child of the Apocalypse, S- rank. Entering Apocalypse stance, boosting his debuff resistance by 60%. Lightning damage spiked 60% for 15 seconds. Dripping in epic armor once again, he charged straight at Luan. He unleashed a vicious strike that actually forced Luan to lean back and dodge. The raw power of that attack ripped the very earth apart. But Luan just casually caught his wrist mid-air. With zero effort, he knocked the weapon right out of Zhao Yi's hand. A sick, triumphant smile appeared. Luan followed up instantly, punching Zhao Yi in the face and completely shattering his mask. He shoved the mirror of Ling Tong right in his face. "You and I can feel the despair here. Listen, look." Watch your precious friends march to their doom. Feel this absolute powerlessness deep in your bones. The second he finished talking, Luan crushed the shard. A sickening crack of webbed fractures spread across the glass. Zhao Yi's eyes went completely bloodshot, veins furiously popping. He thrashed violently, but couldn't break the monster's steel grip. Then a piercing shriek ripped through the sky, bringing an absolutely suffocating, terrifying aura with it. Even Luan jumped, eyes wide in pure shock. A colossal gate just spawned from nowhere, carved with a dark dragon emblem. He looked around, completely dazed. Genuine fear hit his face. This energy fluctuation. It is not right. Zhao Yi stared as the glass panels shook like crazy. The prison's core energy was going totally nuclear and unstable. Suddenly, a massive pillar of dark red light exploded from the void, twisting into the sky like a chaotic vortex. That insane blast of raw energy actually forced Luan to drop Zhao Yi and shield his own face. Zhao Yi crashed to the dirt. His wrist, where Luan had gripped him, was now a dead, terrifying shade of black. What a monstrous mental strike. Pure primal fear that shook his soul. This was definitely level 60 boss power. Meanwhile, Luan stared at the new gate, absolutely panicking. No, impossible. The digestion phase is not even over yet. How is it awake? Was it that blast? He dropped down. My lord, please spare me. Calm your anger. I haven't even finished getting your offerings ready. But the blood-red gate just slowly creaked open in response. Trust me, we aren't ready for what's next.